the rant, and we are recording. Got it. I like how it now tells me the meeting is being live streamed. You know what?
Chicken balls.
I'm so between the gerb and all the wrestling I watched in the last 48 hours and the week ahead. I had to take a nap before we did the show. This whole like, if you are one of those people that wakes up at like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning because you got to get like a full day in your job, your gym. God bless you.
You forget when I first started doing DDP yoga, I was waking up at like 4 a.m. to get my shit in before I jumped in the shower, went to the city.
Fuck that, dude.
I was making it into the city for 7 a.m. I was getting up at like 4:30 to do an hour of DDPY, getting my shower, getting my breakfast, getting on the train. I wouldn't do it again. Fuck that. I don't think I'm much older now, but if you got to do it, dude, you do it. You find a way.
Yeah, no, look, I got up every day. I went to the golf course. I did what I had to do, but I would not. God damn, if that was my fucking Monday through Friday job, I would be misery.
Yeah, it's not for everybody.
It really isn't. And it fucked me all up. And then I did Saturday, we did the PGA, and then I came home and then I took a nap because I had a wedding Saturday night.
Oh, that's right. You had to go to the end of the wedding at midnight, right?
Yes, but thankfully I knew I didn't have to get up early Sunday morning to go back to the golf course.
Yeah.
But I set my alarm for AM. So Rhiannon came home and she woke me up at 10:50. I was supposed to be in Summit at 11 o'clock.
Oh, well.
She said, Matthew, don't you have to work? I said, yeah, I'm leaving at 10:30. She said, it's 10 of 11. Look, I never miss my alarm. I never sleep through my alarm. I was fucking panicked. So I texted my boss. I said, I slept through my alarm. He's like, just meet me at the venue. It was in West Orange. So I groggily drove in the rain. It was horrible. It was awful.
Oh yeah. Sunday was the shits. It was terrible.
It was pouring Saturday.
Yep.
Oh, it was awful. So like, whatever. I finally think I'm reset. We got, I don't know. I'm just babbling. I'm like the babbling brook.
Yeah, a little bit.
I don't want to rub in the fact that I had the best weekend ever. You know what I mean? Like that just feels like a real dick move. But if we're talking weekends, I had a really good weekend. It makes me feel like a dick when you're working so hard. But Ring of Honor, CM Punk is back. I cried. My goodness.
You didn't cry hard enough because Tommy Dreamer ain't sending you free shit.
I know. Come on.
Right.
So thank you to Ryan Schlong for putting that on the internet so 2,000 people could see me just like.
You should have told all your 2,000 people to mock you so Tommy Dream would get you free shit.
I should. You know what? Maybe I can reverse engineer into that somehow.
Worth a shot. We have a huge show tonight. Kevin joining us. He's on his way back from Boston because he went up there for the Major Brothers podcast and he got stuck up there because of the hurricane. We got SummerSlam, which I did not watch a second of.
Me either.
We got NXT Takeover. We got Ring of Honor's Glory by Honor. Fucking CM Punk came back to the wrestling world. And in like 8 minutes, Mickie James is joining us to talk NWA Empowerrr NWA 73, all things NWA. And there's a ton more that we have to talk about. Tony's got his Nick Aldis thing up there. I got my championship belt, you know, because she's a champ. I'm a champ. Is that right there, maybe?
I'm Tony. All that and more next on The Shining Wizards. The following is a presentation of the Shining Wizards Network, broadcasting live on rantiumradio.com and available on all podcast platforms and at shiningwizards.com. Follow us on social media at Wizards Podcast. Check out our merchandise at merch.shiningwizards.com. Do your Amazon shopping at amazon.shiningwizards.com and become a Patreon supporter at patreon.com/wizardspodcast. As always, we thank you for your continued support. And now, enjoy the show.
Shaka, my dudes, it's the beach bum, Freddie Flamingo, and you're listening to the Shining Wizards.
What's up, fuckers? I love the big package.
And he's got those smelly balls.
Oh shit! God, you motherfucker!
He looks like he's shitting, Vince.
No! Fuck no!
Ladies and gentlemen, the Shining Wizards.
Tell me you guys don't hear anything.
It is like very tinny and in and out.
In and out.
Oh, the intro was terrible.
Well, I don't know. I had everything muted, but it's technology. It's Zoom. It is what it is. I can take care of it in post if you want, but don't worry about that now. You are joining us live on the rant, rantdmradio.com. You're joining us live on the space, facebook.com/Wizards Podcast. You're joining us in podcast form wherever you get podcasts because we are available everywhere. We are, of course, the Shining Wizards, where it's wrestling talk.
And talk about wrestling.
Tony.
Matt.
Kate from Fight Club.
Kate from Fight Club back for what? Like the 17th week in a row? This is crazy.
I think the third, but good enough.
You know what? Kate is reliable. Kate went to wrestling shows this weekend. Kate is a huge CM Punk fan. So it just seemed like this was like the inevitable. And with Kevin being stuck in Boston or on the way back, I just thought, what better way than to take advantage of Kate being a female than to have her on the show with Mickie James. Talk about female power.
Hell yeah, empowered.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think the first time Kate was actually on the show with us was when we interviewed another female performer, Selena De La Renta. No, maybe.
Yes,
I mean, the first was at Black Bear.
Oh,
Brown Bear.
Brown Bear. Either way, it's closed now. But I think like the first time I ever sat in with you guys, I think was the Selena De La Renta interview, which was in your top 5 episodes because I am the draw after all. Sammy Callahan can suck it. I'm the draw. I'm the trend, Matt Taven.
Well, it was probably half you and half the fact that she was throwing quesadillas at people, but 6 of one.
I mean, it might be the absolutely stunning, incredibly charismatic, very fun guest that you had, but I was there also. So.
And I just want to tell everyone, including Kate, this is a no mute button zone. I will not be muting Kate. So she could say whatever she wants on this show, unlike that Wednesday night show that unfortunately I'm not in charge of, but it is what it is.
Usually I'm singing. It's not what I'm saying. This is the problem.
I mean, I didn't mute Kate last week at all when we talked to Brian Clark.
That is true. The Monday night show shows some respect.
Freedom of speech reigns on Monday nights on the rant.
Seems like all it does is rain here in New Jersey.
Make it rain.
My poor frog pond. So much water.
It's
my goodness. Are any of the little froggies dead?
No. Why would they be dead?
I don't know. Maybe they didn't hop away in time. Maybe it got flooded.
I know. We got these crazy water plants and they just reproduce like, I don't know what the purpose is to keep the water in the pond. And I don't know, it helps clean up the pond water. They just hang out on top of these little plants. The whole pond is covered in these green little plants now. Looks very nice. Yeah, it looks very nice. Very fancy.
How many of those green plants washed away down the hill with the storm we had?
0. The pond is very full though. Our pond is full to the brim. How'd you guys do with the storm?
Much better than the last one. I kept my power. And I didn't blow out any of my electronics like I did last time either. I blew out my studio speakers because I did not unplug them before the storm last time. I learned that lesson once. And so I made out better this time.
I don't know if you're familiar, if you remember my cold room, but I have the gas line that comes pretty much like right through the middle of the room and it comes in to the back here where the gas meter is. For some reason, since they redid my steps, water comes in alongside the pipe. I mean, I got this little drain in the floor anyway, so it's not a big deal, but the water was just constantly coming in, but it didn't flood anything. So there's another issue I have to deal with. Home ownership. Yay.
Yeah, you getting fucking buried over there, brother.
You ain't kidding.
How was your vacation, Tony?
My vacation was fantastic. We ate at all different restaurants. We sailed down the Hudson River on tubes. We did the extreme like tree climbing course and all that good stuff. It was good times.
Nice. That's
We
awesome.
We ate barbecue. We ate burgers. We went out on the steam powered paddle boats on the lake. It was good times, man. Good times.
Well done. You deserved that break. You've been dealing with a lot of bullshit in your house. So
You ain't kidding.
I'm glad you had a good vacation, and it sounds action packed. Multiple
was.
water activities, lots
Action-
of food.
Action-packed action.
Okay.
No doubt about it.
Did you return with the family?
Oh yeah, they all came back. Oh,
You didn't send them down the river?
highlight of the ride home, right? So like when we left up there for Matt's bachelor party weekend, probably 8 years ago now, maybe, we stopped at the Cracker Barrel on the way back. And you know those little triangle things with the little pegs that you have to kind of eliminate all the pegs and get one left?
Yes.
I beat that thing at that Cracker Barrel for the first time ever. First time I picked it up while we were sitting there, I beat it. Lo and behold, just a couple days ago, I gave the toy to my son. I said, this is what you have to do. Son of a bitch, if he didn't beat the damn puzzle. And we were in the same room. Might have been the same game for all I know.
Doesn't it tell you like on the little pegboard that means like your levels of intelligence or whatever? I thought if you beat that thing, you're supposedly like a genius.
Well, I mean,
You
look
get
who you're
that.
talking to, Kate. Come on, let's be honest.
I mean, Bobby the Brain Heenan over there.
Apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
I love it.
Tony, would you like to know? 6 years ago to the day is when we went to Lake George and did the extreme tree climbing course.
God, it was only 6 years ago. I felt like it was so much longer. Wow.
Wait, Matt did an extreme tree climbing course?
Oh yeah, 6 years ago. It was part of the itinerary.
Easy.
It's part of my bachelor party.
And you made it out alive. Wait, take me through this extreme tree climbing course. Like, was it Legends of the Hidden Temple? Like, was it just?
Yeah, you go up into the woods and they put a harness on you and you have like a clippy, and then you do like the first you have to make
Flippity
sure.
bullshit?
Yeah, clippy, not flippy. First, you have to make sure you know how to work it properly so you don't fall out of the goddamn trees. So they show.
Oh,
you
they
how to
changed
do
the
it.
system now. It sucks. It's a lot more difficult to operate now, but it's a lot more safer. I was talking to one of the young fellas and he's like, yeah, the new system sucks. He's like, I love the old system. As he sat there with a broken ankle because he fell out of the tree 2 weeks earlier because they were fucking around.
So you start at like you do the little baby one, and then you go on the course. And as you progress through the course, it gets harder and harder.
Significantly harder.
You're like 75 feet up in the fucking air, and you have to walk across like broken boards of wood and climb nets, and you ride the
Zip
gimmick
line.
into
Yep.
yeah, it's Crazy Town, USA. It's a lot of fun, but
That's like work though.
it's a workhorse.
I tell you this much though, doing DDPY and having core strength now, like my wife got on there and she's like this and the kids like this. I get up there, I'm like, no problem. Really
All right.
helps.
Guy who's actually consistent with his DDPY as opposed to Matt and I who make cameos.
Hey, actually, I was off for about 2 weeks. I really wasn't doing anything because we were getting ready to go on vacation and all that nonsense. But
That shit does make a difference though, for real. For real,
hell-
for real.
hell yeah,
Goodness.
I gotta
just
get
a few
back,
minutes,
I gotta get back into the DDPY.
you should, dude. Stop.
Me too.
If you would have set your alarm for 8, you could have did your DDPY and then went off to do your job on Sunday. Get that shit in.
I'd have to
Now-
do my job Sunday. I was off Sunday.
No, I thought Sunday was the day after the wedding. When did you oversleep? Saturday
Saturday night.
into Sunday morning? No.
I had to go. I worked from midnight to 2 a.m. Saturday night / Sunday morning.
Yeah. And then Sunday morning you overslept. No.
No, Sunday morning I got to sleep in.
Oh, so you fucked up and then had to go to do the wedding after you fucked up the night before? Wow, you had a shitty weekend.
So I woke up at 5 o'clock Saturday morning, did the PGA, came home, tried to take a nap, fell asleep at like 9:40, thinking I could get a good half an hour in before my alarm went off.
Oh, so you woke up at 10 to 11 p.m.
Yes. Sorry for the confusion.
No, you're good. You're good.
Utterly impressed that you knew what day it was with your work schedule. And so I'll say this. I don't want to get too much down the wrestling rabbit hole because Mickie James is calling him soon, but
He's in the queue.
I was so excited at ROH because I was like, I'm going to get Matt stuff. He's working his ass off. I'm going to bring home merch. I'm going to make his day. And then I couldn't decide. I went like, I don't know, 3 matches before the card was over to scope it out. And then I was like, you know what? After, I'll go and I'll take a picture and I'll send it to Matt. And that way he can choose whatever he wants. I come out before anybody has left the building. The entire merch stand is shut down. Which seems like a terrible business idea. Like, why are you shutting merch down right after the show, after a ridiculous cage match, by the way, incredible, where everybody is like hyped up. Like people literally had their wallets in their hand. Like, I'm going to go buy a Matt Taven shirt. And the whole merch stand was shut down. It was such a bummer. So now I come home empty-handed with nothing for Matt after he's been busting his ass this week. I was so sad.
You said she's in the queue, T-Donk.
She's coming in right now.
Bring in the legend, please.
Hello.
Hello, Miss James. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us tonight to talk NWA Empowerrr this weekend, NWA 73, the driving force behind the all-women's pay-per-view, which is looking fantastic. As an older wrestling fan, the Free Babes are just exciting. I'm excited about this.
I'm very, very excited about that team right there. I think a team of second generation stars, and they're so dynamically just very different, and they come from very different backgrounds, but you know, to give them a platform and something that's kind of a throwback, which is what NWA does so well, to the history and legacy and traditions. And so it's cool. It's really cool. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, we're super excited about it. You have quite the lineup set up. And correct me if I'm wrong, you're doing a roundtable too with Jazz, Medusa, Gail Kim, the Saturday.
I call ourselves the Queens of the Round Table. It's more of a moniker, if you will. There's, some queens doing queen things, running stuff.
I mean, it's not a bad set of queens.
Not a bad set of queens at all. I feel like there's, a lot of awesomeness going on at that table. So I always, you think about it and I go like, oh, typically at the table are all gentlemen who have been there, who have, have their own legacy and history and have made money and kind of built angles and know how to do that. And so I felt like, especially for the women's brand, that it would be really cool to have women that I love and respect and that have done all of those things and broken boundaries and all of those things to be able to help, lead this team of girls up. And I think that I couldn't have asked for a better crew. They're so amazing.
I don't think anyone would disagree. You four ladies are like the pillars of the women's wrestling industry.
Oh, you're very kind.
You're on the NWA 73rd anniversary show, but not on Empowerrr. What was the decision behind that to not wrestle on NWA?
I thought, well, that was my decision because I think and I've gotten mixed reviews on that. A lot of people think, oh, well, you should have wrestled. My whole thing is that I am very serious about this executive producer position. And it's very difficult to play, to play in player coach role because I think that it skews the lines of like, what you're doing versus, and it would just kind of distract me. And I really want this pay-per-view to feel special, to be special. And I couldn't see myself. I'm just very focused on a lot of things. And I wouldn't be able to focus on the show and my match with equal love, with equal passion to be able to deliver on both kind of platforms. And I felt like it was only fair to kind of sit back and really deliver the show how I hope to see it. So I'm going to be in Gorilla, the one on the headset, the one, making all the calls. And it was a lot. It was a lot to do all that. I mean, it's been a lot of work just to get here. It's been sleepless nights and phone calls and trying to get to the gym and it not plus I'm a mom, so there's that's a full-time job in itself. So it's just a lot. And I just didn't want to take my eyes off the prize. And I felt like if the product at the end of the night delivered as a whole, that would speak volumes. And I didn't need to wrestle because I was already wrestling the next night. And that was the cool thing of like being able to still perform at the weekend at the anniversary event. And since I was being given this platform to be able to put on this show, that then I could go and wrestle the next night for Billy, you know.
You mentioned Billy. He recently just told Sports Illustrated that he has acquired the
Yes.
the Mildred Burks version of the NWA Women's title.
Yeah.
As a legend in the wrestling industry, how important is that just to be able to hold that, look at that title, see the lineage?
I've already told him I'm stealing it. So I hope that he locks it in the safe in his room. You know, just because I watch it, you know, I'm just kidding. Oh, God. Because God forbid something. No, it's pretty incredible because you think about it. Mildred Burke was kind of one of those forgotten. She really was the mother of women's wrestling and pretty much founded, you know, was the first. She was main eventing in like she was main eventing before it was a thing, and nobody even kind of second guessed it as far as on the card. And her whole career was kind of swept under the rug as she was almost forgotten. And I think to be able to bring this title back, which is the first real women's championship, especially here, you know, and to be able to do that and to kind of redefine her legacy and remind people of her history and the history of like how far back it really does date. And it's really cool. It's really, really cool. And I saw when I saw the championship, I was like, oh my God, what's that? He goes, oh, I got it. And I'm like, holy shit, that's so cool. It's so cool. It's so funny because we're still fans about certain, you know what I mean? We still fans at the end of the day. Yeah.
If you could see the text chain when this came to fruition, this interview, we were over the moon excited.
Well, I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
It never goes away for us. We're still, you know, that's the reason why we do our podcast. We all know about the WWE exit. When you go to Billy with this idea, is he open to the NWA Empowerrr show? And how involved is he in the decisions? Or are you just like, you kind of run things by him, but at the end of the day, you are?
I would say, you know, I definitely run things by him because at the end of the day, it is falling underneath the NWA umbrella, which is his brand and that's his company. So there's obviously been some stuff that he's kind of, you know, if whatever kind of talk, you know, and obviously, but when I spoke, Billy and I had several conversations about this women's brand or this idea or this concept before even I you know, my release or anything, because Billy has come over to the house and had dinner at my house and I've watched them work on the NWA, him and my husband and everyone involved behind the scenes and been, you know, cheerleading on the sidelines this whole time. So now to kind of come into this fold and be, you know, put in charge, I almost wanted to do something in that space anyway, because it felt right for me as far as like a next move for me in a sense. But, you know, it was really kind of his idea he's like, I think, why don't you just do it here and do it with me and we can do it together. And I think that's really cool because I've known Billy for 20 years at this point, you know, and it was just ironic for me because I go like, it's crazy because I love wrestling and I guess, you know, everything around my whole career, whenever I envisioned it, it was always with WWE or that was the pinnacle. And that's what I had always seen that. And I never thought that after stepping away that I wouldn't be able to do what I wanted there, but I would come back to NWA, which is, you know, the oldest wrestling organization in the United States, but also with my friend Billy, who's in music, who I do music too, and most of his and the crossovers between our paralleled universes, if you will. So it's really kind of ironic how it's all worked out, but good, really good.
Do you guys do like does he pick your brain on wrestling and do you pick his brain on music?
No. No. Yeah, I'm always weird about, I'd say this and I've said this to him because he's always said like, oh, if you ever want to run your songs by me, which I did actually, Grown Ass Woman, I did run by him. I really did. Because I was like, okay, I'll finally take him up on this because he's been saying that forever. And I always felt awkward because I go like, Billy's my friend because he's Billy and he's my friend and I'm Mickey or whatever. And I never wanted to mess with that or make it weird or anything like that. And we obviously talk about wrestling when it pertains to our own personal stories or anything. And obviously now we talk about wrestling a lot more because we're talking about shows and stuff like that. So yeah, it's definitely interesting. I don't know if he always agrees with me, or obviously nobody always agrees all the time, but you know what I mean? Like, I think it's really interesting to get his perspective, and he's so smart and he's so creative, to get his perspective, because he looks at wrestling, even though he's absorbed it and watched it for so long, from a very different lens than I look at it, because I've been in the ring watching it and looking at it and trying to perfect that craft of that whole thing. And so even trying to transition into this executive producer role, it's like a whole new set of goggles on at the moment, because you're looking at it from a television perspective and from a bookings perspective and all these other things that you didn't always, you would think about it, but you would only think about it for your character per se, if that makes sense. Yeah,
I know the forbidden door is open, and I know you've gone out. We've seen the footage from Impact, reaching out to Deonna Purrazzo, having her come in for the show. But talk to us for a minute about the recent crop of NWA champions, like like Allison Kay and Thunder Rosa, and of course, the Brickhouse Camille, our current champion. What's your impressions of the ladies that have been involved in the NWA since the whole resurgence with with Power and Into the Fire and the recent history?
Oh, I think it's incredible. I thought that Allison Kay, for a first champion coming back out of the gate and to really do that, she's so great. And that's why I'm really excited to have her there as part of the tag tournament with Marty, because they are legitimately best friends. And I think they both have a lot of history with the NWA. I think Thunder Rosa, she was incredible and she did a great job as champion. I mean, if you think about it, nobody really knew who Thunder Rosa was and knew her story until the NWA. And they really made people care about her and love her and get behind her in a whole different capacity, because they were able to like understand her and kind of empathize with her a bit. And now Camille, I say about Camille, she's worked so hard, and the way she was presented when she was brought on television, and to be able to be that silent but strong, it was kind of like a new age, like kind of China role, and to be automatically aligned like with Nick and the champion. So then she was able to see a lot of those championship matches and be, and not just the front row, but right at ringside for a lot of these matches, to kind of know what works and kind of how to get there and that. So it just streamlined her, and she's a natural athlete. Like, she's a thoroughbred, but seriously, like, she's a legit football player, like not like lingerie football, but like hands-on football. She was softball scholarship, the whole thing. Like, she's a premier athlete. And so she's just, she's a badass, and she's beautiful. And I think she just looks like a star, is like, to see her show up on AEW and then be able to go out there and now to be able to present that match, against Layla Hirsch. I think that's going to be a killer match, because their styles are so different, and they're very different visually when you look at them, and just personality wise, they're just complete polar opposites. So I think that's going to be very, very interesting. Yeah, I got a lot of time for Camille. Plus, she's aligned with my husband, so I have to,
It's funny you brought that up, because I do remember, like Camille, yes, they've been going through her backstory. They went through like all of her endeavors in sports. And even recently on the Race to the Chase, your husband, Nick, was actually, I knew she was a badass. I saw something in her, and look at her now. And they even did that with Thunder Rosa. Like, they were chronicling like her endeavors into MMA and just showing how tough she was. NWA has been doing a great job with giving backstory to people, like you said, who you may not be familiar with,
right?
But after you see that, you're like, okay, now I'm on board with this person.
Yeah, the way they shoot, I agree 1,000%. I loved those 10 pounds of gold pieces. I thought they were so inspiring. They were so powerful. I love those profile pieces that they did on all of those, the Race to the Chase, because I feel like it just gives a more intimate look at the journey, and it gets you emotionally connected to those characters, because now you feel like you know them on a different level, because we always have this perception of that character that they play on television. But when you get the story behind the grind and the story about that person and their journey, I mean, the stuff with Tim Storm, like the school teacher, who I could not love Tim Storm more. Like, he is an all-time big old baby face for me. Like, he's just, checks every box. So I just think that they have a way, and it's so different, because I don't think that I don't think that we ever try to present wrestling in what everybody else is doing, because it is a unique product and it is so different. And that's kind of what makes it magical, is because it is a throwback to the way wrestling, I guess what you would say, was shot, but in a modern kind of really newer delivery system. But that same, cutting promos at a stand with a mic, with a mic guy, or those cool down the lens shots that we don't necessarily get, like instead of the backstage and I'm talking to my friend and there's magically a camera over here, like those shots, like it just feels more real and authentic. And a lot of the characters on television, they feel like people you would know, like that you've known, or and you just connect with them. And you think about Trevor and his whole story, like, God, I love Trevor so much. And like to get to Boo, I mean, he's not going to beat my husband, so it's
he's not,
the last time you're going to see him at NWA 73. So I'm so sorry, you guys, but I do love Trevor, and I've known Trevor for a long, long time. But I think that just people can understand, and it resonates with them, because we've all been there. Yeah, it's cool, isn't it? It's like I always say, it's like retro, but not.
Oh, 100%. The 10 pounds of gold is what got me back into the NWA to begin with. Like,
For sure.
like Tim Storm is likable. Even Nick, you can love to hate him, but you can't deny he is so great in that role as the champion.
Yes, he is.
Which is why I'm nervous.
And he talks the talk, and he walks. He looks like a champion, and he's distinguished, and he's educated, and he's smart, and he's, like, I'm just not tooting his horn because he's my husband. I'm just saying that he looks like a champion, he walks like a champion, talks like a champion, and he takes a lot of pride in his work. And he's done so much work within the NWA because he cares, and he's very passionate about it. He's very passionate about NWA. He's very passionate about, obviously, his own career, but as for the company as a whole. And he takes a lot of pride in everything that he does with it. And so it's really cool to see him finally get that kind of love and respect that I think that he deserves.
I am a little worried about NWA 73. I will be completely honest with you.
What, that Trevor's going to have to retire?
No, that's what I want. Booger eater, get out of here.
Booger eater.
Booger eater.
Ew.
He looks like he eats his booger. I hope your husband puts him in the
Booger.
clover leaf. They call it's a wrap. Trevor's tapping out. Get out of here.
Get out of here, booger eater.
Go
We've been
jump
dealing with he's been calling him Booger Eater for about 3 months now. It's
jump in the Mississippi.
Wow.
Get out of here.
Get out of here.
No,
So
I will be super upset if he beats Mr. Aldis. I'm just saying.
Are you gonna flick boogers at the TV, or?
I am not a booger eater.
Okay, good.
I'm a gentleman.
I was worried.
I use a napkin to blow my nose. Don't
Right.
Kate,
The
I saw
tissue.
that. Yes, tissue. No handkerchiefs, because that's gross.
Yeah,
That is gross.
that is kind of gross, actually.
Wants to carry around a thing full of snot in their pocket.
I
Ugh.
don't know. You think they used to be embroidered, or they do like the little dollies? My grandmother, she made them. She would do like the little, what's the crochet on the outside to make the little ruffles. And I'm like, oh, this is so great, but I'm never going to use this, Grandma, because it's a
Right.
cotton tissue that I feel like I should throw it away after I'm done, and I'm not going to. But cloth diapers were a thing, still are a thing for some people. So maybe we need to go back to the cotton embroidered tissues. I don't know. We're trying to save the planet one napkin at a time.
Well, if you have it, you might want to send him over to Trevor anyway, according to Matt. I don't consider him a booger eater. I don't think that's
I'm going to
nice.
get my grandma to crochet him a, little
Yes,
hanky.
yes. He's
Like with
gonna
a
need
little,
it.
with a little bon voyage. So this way when he cries when he loses.
Wow.
Hey, boys are gross, which is why I'm here.
She's like, how did I get in the mix of this, boogers?
It's gross.
Yeah.
So I mean, not to ask like the generic question, but you obviously have a legendary career that has spanned decades, and women's wrestling is in such a crazy place right now. I feel like even within just this weekend, we saw like awesome things happening in Ring of Honor. And then we also saw Bianca getting squashed in 7 seconds. How are you feeling about women's wrestling in general right now, especially from where you came in the industry? And how are you feeling about what Empowerrr is doing like within that landscape? It feels like such a catalyst for
Thank
so
you.
many
Well, that's
talent.
what I'm hoping and I'm praying about. I really hope that it's something special. And honestly, I think each brand is kind of, presents their women. And I never want to say, anyone presents their women in a terrible way, because I've been afforded a pretty amazing career, on television, and my character for the most part in those good spaces was presented very well, for a lot of my championship runs and stuff like that. So, I didn't see the SummerSlam where she got beaten. I've heard a lot about that recently, so I can't really speak on it. Aside from because I was watching on Twitter, I was at the Astronomicon, so I apologize for missing that.
No need to bother.
I do. Yeah, I did see a lot of Kabbalah on there, but I do think that they do a really good job of presenting. And I thought, the fact that Bianca and Sasha were main event in WrestleMania and doing all of these, like they have had a lot of first ever. So I think that just in the last decade alone, but especially in the last, I would say almost 5 years, there's been even a stronger force behind driving the legitimacy of women's wrestling. But I go back to like when I was at Impact, and I felt like the knockouts were doing it well before, and they like I was able to main event the show, and have a cage match with Tara on Impact, and that was well before Give Divas a Chance or any of that stuff. So I think that there's always been like an audience for it that have really, really wanted to see it. It's just because they've become louder and louder and louder. And so hopefully it's in a space where everyone's kind of following suit. And what's great about that is all the women are very capable and are stepping up, because now there's a whole crop of talented, really amazing women out there who have trained and wanted to be wrestlers, where that wasn't a thing before. And that comes from all of these awesome women before them that kind of paved the way and gave them an inspiration to go like, hey, I could do this too, and I think we always recognize that across the board most time. Not everybody, I don't see many of this, but I say like we recognize that a lot across the board in the men, and it's cool to see it step up to be able to start recognizing that in the women as well. You know what I mean? To throw homage back to the ladies who've done it, because I will forever be a sensational Sherry fan till the day I die. I don't care. She's great as fuck.
100%. 100%. So NWA 73, you are stepping in the ring, and it's been announced that you're going to be wrestling Smiley Kylie.
Kylie. Is that a shot of the champ in the background there?
Oh,
Signed?
you mean this picture here? This autographed picture of Nick Aldis?
Yes, I see that.
He's so handsome.
It is signed, sealed, and delivered with a card?
Yeah.
That is signed as well?
Oh,
look at you.
There you go.
Oh yeah, go ahead, put it in there.
Oh, you need to see it? There you go.
Is that a Ring of Honor? How did it, wait.
Oh, no,
it's Ring of Honor 8x10?
It's got the NWA logo on the other side.
Okay.
Yes, this is from, I could read the top here. God, I can't even see it. It's from the Crockett Cup. So there you go.
Yes.
How did Smiley Kylie become your opponent for NWA 73?
I told Billy that I would, I was happy. I think that all of the girls in the locker room are very talented, and that I was happy to face anyone that he wanted to put me against at 73. Being that, I was doing this, being given this platform for Empowerrr the night before. And, if people go like, oh, who do you want to, there's a lot of women that I want to face and that I wanted to face. And, so I was given that decision to Billy to let him decide. Do you agree? Do you like his decision?
Oh, 100%. I'm a huge Smiley Kylie fan.
She's amazing. She's very, she's great. She's so great. I'm excited to wrestle her. So
okay, so
I don't get too blown up.
So let me follow up then. You left it up to Billy. If it wasn't Billy's choice and you had a short list of who you'd want to wrestle, who's on that list?
Oh God. I would say Deanna. I would say Britt Baker. Mostly so I can go in there and just take their championships from them.
Nice.
You like that? Oh God. I would love to work with Fabi Apache. I think I didn't get to, got to work with her a little bit when I was down there, but it was in like some 6-girl tag kind of weird match. So, yeah, there's just, there's some really, really incredible women out there right now. There's this Trisha Dora girl who she's really, really talented. She seems interesting. She seems like she'd be fun to wrestle. But then there's like matches that I think that we could do all over again, but in a different capacity where Melina's at NWA now. So who's to say that she and I couldn't have like a throwback to, our Falls Count Anywhere match or something like that. So I don't know.
That could wind up being for the Impact title.
Yeah, well, and now with a whole bunch of releases, you think about it, I would love to work with like Mercedes, who I thought I love Mercedes, and I've worked with her and known her pretty much her whole career, and I think just our paths were so very different. And I was so excited to see her finally get a chance at NXT and to be able to come in. And the whole time I'm going like, oh, I just wish they bring you to the main roster. Like, you need to be here, like no offense. I just was selfishly, I wanted her in our locker room because I felt like she had put in her time and put in her dues and paid her dues for a very long time. And yeah. And plus she's just a badass and I like her a whole lot. So, but yeah, so her or Ruby, because I never really got to feud with, like, even my last run, I didn't get to feud with anyone, it's just more kind of other, like, storyline wise, so yeah.
We're on the line with what is that?
No, you're getting an echo.
I hear that.
It's
There we go.
gone.
It's gone. We're on the line with Mickie James at Mickie James on Twitter, the Mickie James on Instagram. This Saturday and Sunday,
Yeah.
NWA Empowerrr and NWA 73 bundle package at Fight TV, $39.99 for both shows. Individually, they're $25. Get the bundle.
Can't beat it with a stick.
You can't. And Fight does a phenomenal job. That's how we watch NWA Power. That's how we watch a lot of the wrestling shows. So worth the bang for your buck. And
No doubt.
the show is stacked. We're gonna
It
get
is
UN.
stacked both nights. I mean, even after I was, there's still a few tickets left for Empower. I'd really love to sell that baby out. That would be really, really cool. But as far as, NWA 73 sold out, and then they announced Ric Flair after it was already sold out. So talk about over delivering there. But it's going to be just an incredible weekend. You think about 73 years of celebrating the National Wrestling Alliance. It's pretty amazing. And it's pretty amazing to see this whole resurgence and the product and the company brought back to life, and just a whole new respected platform and a place where people are going like, oh shit, it's the NWA. Like, that's cool, So
How excited are you to be at the Chase St. Louis for this monumental event?
so excited. So excited. Well, we went up to St. Louis for the press conference, and the hotel was so accommodating, and it's just a beautiful hotel. But plus we walked in and saw the ballroom as it stands now. And it's just, you think about it, and the vibe, and the city is so excited about it, and the press were so excited, and the hotel is just good energy all the way around, because it just means so much. You think about, like, from Ring of Honor, everybody's tried to get into that building, everybody, and no one's been able to do it until now. So I felt like it was like magically waiting for us to get to this moment. I think the fact that we were going back to the Chase and we were able to work this out kind of set up that perfect platform to have the first women's show and to launch Empowerrr. I think everything, just the cards just kind of all lined up for us. So
With all of this positive momentum, and this may not be something that you know until after, is there any talk about this being named like an annual thing or something that's going to happen more than once?
I'm hoping. We have definitely talked about this being, especially because we are introducing the cup as an inaugural thing. So this will happen, that will happen. The cup will happen every single year. Oh my God, this cup. I'm like, it's been the toughest thing. It's so crazy. Like, this one cup is driving me crazy. But not the putting the matches together, the cup itself. Oh God, I can't. It's been like insanity trying to get this thing done. However, the cup itself is going to be an annual thing. And the whole deal is like, we're going to find, the top 10 prospects or the top 10 women that we think would make incredible NWA women's champions. And every year we'll have this cup. So there will be one winner, and she will always get a championship title shot at the NWA women's champion. So this first one will be the very next night at 73. So my hope is that Empowerrr is an annual thing, and we can present this cup at every Empowerrr, and we can keep moving forward. But I do feel like this is the first of many kind of women driven products for NWA as a whole. So I'm excited about that.
That's awesome to hear.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm excited too. Hi, Kitty.
Oh.
Do you want to talk about it?
Nellie's got questions.
Nellie, one of my friends in high school, one of my dearest friends in high school, her name was Nellie.
Nelly she had to make an appearance, and she's down on the note.
And there she is.
All right, Nelly, thanks for joining us. It was only a matter of time, Mickey, before she showed up. She's usually good for a couple appearances on a Monday.
Yeah,
night.
for sure. I get it. No, it's got
You
to
didn't get the you didn't get the long cat butthole shot, so she must respect you. Usually she just turns around and that's on the camera.
Yep. You're welcome, folks.
I just want you to know it's Matt bringing up cat buttholes and boogers on the show. So
Yeah. Boogers and
send them to him.
buttholes. Yep.
I don't know what to tell you. I can't do anything about Nelly. All right, that's her gimmick now. She does a run in, she presents, and then she just lays down here. And Trevor Murdoch, he eats boogers. All right, Nick Aldis going to put him out to pasture.
Yeah,
that's all. It's okay.
Yeah.
Hey Nelly. All right, there we go.
Oh, now she's going to get it.
Good girl. Come on. I'm talking to a legend here, Nelly. This is not the time nor the place.
I'm very animal friendly, actually. I love animals. More than most
your own.
I have 2 horses. We have a cat, and we have 2 dogs.
Nice.
Yeah, but I would have a whole bunch more if I could. But it's time. It's a lot of time, a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. Cats are in my opinion. Cats are the easiest.
Cats are pretty self-sufficient, but they're also like they kind of love you when they want to, and then they don't want anything to do with you when they don't want anything to do with you. So it's a very non-committal relationship. Just feed them so they don't eat your face. It's pretty much, what it is. Right. Whereas dogs will love you unconditionally no matter what, even if you haven't fed them, and they won't eat your face.
I tell my wife all the time, if Muda, we have a cat named Muda. Said if Muda he weighed 40 more pounds, he would eat us in our sleep.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think anything about it. He don't care.
Yeah. Cats will eat other humans.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's a whole other conversation. We don't need to go down that, but the crazy cat ladies who die in their houses and then they get eaten by their cats.
I mean, you shouldn't have 70 cats.
Well, you shouldn't.
I mean, that's what's going to happen,
Dark.
right?
It's 70, that's a lot. Place. It's a lot.
That's a lot of cats, though. I can barely keep up with 3 cats.
A lot of ammonia.
Crazy.
Yeah, fair amount of ammonia for sure.
Awful. And I got the neighborhood cats. They're trying to eat the frogs out of my frog pond. It's unbelievable.
Better than your face.
You know what? Some would agree. Some would disagree.
Or frogs.
Would say eat his face. Eat his face, Nelly. Don't eat my face, Nelly. Come on, man. Come on.
Oh, it's just like, you're putting me over. I'm gonna take all the TV time.
The Invitational Cup, it's 10 super talented female wrestlers. Some that were super familiar with: Chelsea Green, Lady Frost, Genocide, Masha, Kira Hogan. Some were not too familiar with: Tootie Lynn, Debbie Malenko, Thunder Kitty. Who do you like in this 10-woman gauntlet? Who do you think is going to really open up some eyes?
Who do I think? It's kind of tough because I feel like every woman that I chose is going to have a very good showing, and I chose them for very specific reasons, and I wanted, this show to speak volumes across the board and just be super powerful and kind of inspire everyone. And I thought, from Tootie Lynn being from St. Louis, who never really had a shot. She's kind of the rookie coming into this place. And I know that the hometown of St. Louis is going to love her and they're going to know who she is. But for her to be showcased and shined in a whole, bigger platform, this is a huge opportunity for her. And I think that being able to bring in Debbie Malenko, who was retired and was one of those women in like the early 90s, when you think about it, that were like the women to watch, and she was headed to be like one of the big stars. And then because of her knee injury and then then she just kind of quit wrestling. And now at 50, like making this huge comeback. But talk about breaking like age barriers and all of those things, which we talk about with women all the time, because there is a difference between, women's age and men's age and how they're presented on television, and it is what it is. It's the way it's been. And I think we've slowly pushed that back and pushed it back a little bit further, but yeah. And then obviously Jamie Senegal with Paula DeMar, I think it's, it's the first time that a transgendered athlete has ever performed in an NWA ring, to my knowledge. And for me to be able to present her in the cup and to give her that platform where it's like, yes, this is such a powerful show. I thought it was important to have her there. Wow.
I just looked at her and she was laying, and I said, "You're gonna fall," and she just kept going.
Wow.
She's back. She's unbelievable.
She's begging for it.
Well, Matt's
but
trying to.
yeah,
I
but
was-
for her, and then like Polo Del Mar, and then I go. I mean, I've had conversations with Polo where he's like, she's so passionate, already a fan of the NWA, and already like worked so hard behind the scenes and stuff. But now to be able, she's like, I never thought that I would be in this place. Like, I just never thought this would be possible for me, you know, and to be able to give both of them that opportunity, and just all the women like Bianca Carelli, people don't really know her yet because she's Santino's daughter though. And I've known her since she was Donovan's age, you know, like Santino and I have such history from our working in the ring together to OVW to all of this stuff. And so now to be able to give his daughter like one of the first biggest moments of her to kind of kickstart her whole career, it's pretty awesome. You know, it's cool. It's a cool night. It's going to be a cool night for wrestling, I think, not just women's wrestling, but just for wrestling as a whole. So,
What was the selection process like for you when you're scouting out talent? Were you trying to fill certain types of wrestling in, or people certain stories, or were you just going with the best that you thought you could find? Like when you're lining something up that's going to be so powerful, what was
well,
kicking
you know, it's interesting because there's a lot of stuff, you know, obviously, even with like Forbidden Doors and stuff like that. Like, it's like, I really had to be cognizant of the fact of, you know, who the girls that were all wrestling on dark matches or different things, you know, I wanted to be able, because I did say that I wanted to give new women opportunities, women that you necessarily haven't seen. And sometimes you see the same women, not that they don't deserve them, because they do, and they're getting those opportunities for a reason. But you get to see a lot of the same girls show up and kind of everywhere and do, you know, but not really get the push or per se. So I was like, well, here's a cool opportunity for me to not only start to define the NWA women's roster and to start kind of selecting and really seeing who's going to be in the NWA locker room for the women's division as a whole, because especially because we're growing and it's going to be the NWA Women's Championship, but also now the tag team championships, that we're gonna need a stronger locker room and more teams and stuff like that. And it was just kind of cool to be able to start to tell those stories and define those characters for us, but also I think the ability to kind of lean on and have good relationships across the board with other people that I've worked with, and be able to highlight some of their locker room and some of their talents and be able to come together for this one night is kind of cool. It's really, really cool. And you think about like Melina and Deanna, like Melina has never even, and up until this moment, she had never been in an Impact ring, which I didn't realize, but it just kind of completely blew my mind. She had never been in an Impact ring. She's never wrestled for the Knockouts Championship or anything. So Empowerrr is like pretty groundbreaking for her and her career. When you think about it, I'm like, wow, that's really amazing. And as it started to unfold, and I was like, wow, that's really cool. And I'm like, well, why hasn't she been in an Impact ring? Well, we're going to make this happen right now.
It's fantastic. That's, you know what, when you say that, it's unbelievable that she's never been in an Impact ring when you think about it.
Right.
Because I feel like she's been around forever, not in a bad way. Like, I feel like she's always been.
And she's awesome. She's awesome. So yeah, if that's going to be a good match, I'm excited about that.
That's fantastic stuff. What a weekend you have said. This is super exciting for the wrestling fans, especially the NWA fans. And I can't wait to check all this out. I'm super excited about the Free Babes. Just the Miranda Gordy and
Jerry Bam Bam Gordy's daughter.
And Jazzy Yang, like the daughters of professional wrestlers. Super exciting.
Yeah, and then Hollywood Haley J, who I have especially a lot of time for Hollywood, but she is Maria James' daughter. So she's she's a second generation from her mother's side. And Maria's been on the independent scene and done a bunch of stuff. And I would see her at tryouts all the time. And now to see her daughter kind of getting a chance. And I just have a lot of time for her, I think, because she reminds me so much of my sister. And I said this to her on the phone, is like, she walks and talks a lot like my sister, my sister passed away 2 years ago. Oh, you know, so I think that she just she reminds me of her so much. And when I first sat down and had this conversation with her, plus just to kind of get to know her and know her backstory, I was like, I really have a lot of time for this girl. Like, she's a single mom. She's like been on the street. She's busted her butt. She has a whole backstory that's kind of like, wow. Like, and it's cool to be able to give someone like that a chance, because I think that we've all been in different places and spaces in our lives. And sometimes it just takes one person to kind of get you and believe in you and give you that opportunity. I know I had to have that for myself. And I think most people who have gotten anywhere in life have had at least one person to say that they could do it, you know, and to kind of give them that platform to do it. So, yeah.
And you're not a bad person to be the one to do that either. I think that speaks.
I'm a horrible person.
I hope that all the cats are going to eat her face. Look out.
This is why I don't have but one cat.
Wow.
Smart. Only one.
Only one.
Mickie James, the fan. What are you most looking forward to at NWA Empowerrr? What's like the one match you can't wait to just revel in?
I'm really excited about this. Well, I say this, but I'm also excited about the tag team championships. I think the fact that we're going to crown the first champions in like 37 years, the first tag team champions in 37 years, is pretty monumental. And obviously we won't know until after, you know, those four teams compete or whatever, and see who's going to go down to the finals. But I'm really excited about that because I think it's part of history. But I'm really excited about this cup too, because I think it's such a unique match and a unique like set of circumstances, and just such different women involved in it, that the dynamic is just going to be crazy. And I'm interested to see how that's gonna, you know, go, because I just think about like how everybody, like some people are very like big moves and other people are more like Debbie's mostly submissions and stuff like that, you know. So it's going to be an interesting matchup to see how people's styles kind of go and who's going to get their butt handed to them and who's not. Here comes my dog.
Oh, nice. What's your dog?
Oh,
name?
you got a bath. Why? No.
Oh, look at that little guy. That looks like Buster, Kate.
And it does look like my dog Buster, who just chilled out. So I'm not going to rile him up. This is the second week in a row. We had Adam Bomb and Adam Bomb's dog. Now,
Oh, yeah?
yeah.
You're sneaky. Get away from me.
So adorable.
I don't want you. No.
Please do not apologize for bringing cute dogs onto the podcast. What
You
has
always bust the shot too. So I get it.
what has been the most satisfying part of putting this all together, and what has been the most challenging part? It sounds like the actual physical cup design might be the most challenging. From what you just said.
The physical trying to get this cup designed like has been the hardest, most stressful.
Why is it so stressful? Is it the design
I
itself,
think
or
that there was like, no, I just don't even want to get into it.
enough?
I
Fair
can't.
enough.
I'm just like, it was a lot. It's just so much. I never realized that having a cup made would be so difficult. You know, here I am. I would say like the easiest part and the funnest part has been making the phone calls and having these conversations with these ladies on the phone and saying, hey, I really want you to come to Empowerrr. And I really, you know, that's been the best part.
That's
By
awesome.
far. Yeah. And like the genuine, like, because a lot of times, like for a lot of them, I've called them on Zoom like this, and so I could, you know, see them and talk to them this way. But yeah, it's the most rewarding because you can see. It feels good to be able to, like, you know, let someone else realize that someone else believes in you, because I think it goes a long way. And we're obviously all like trying to make it in this crazy world or this crazy business. And I was in those same shoes, and all it just took is like a Jeff Jarrett to call me and say he believed in me enough to let me do this or whatever the case may be. And so, yeah, that's the cool thing. And then the cup. Yeah, that's that.
Yeah, now I can't wait to see this cup.
No, it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be amazing. It's just, you know, there's always like there's always like the weirdest things what happened there? Wow.
Sorry, my camera for some reason shut off. I don't think it
It's
was
fine.
charged.
I'm not judging you.
This is my son's, one of his friends when he was a
Sure.
kid. His name is Chippy's brother.
Yeah.
This is falling apart really fast over
No,
here.
here we go. I
There,
switched to my MacBook camera. We're good.
Yep.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
You mentioned
Yeah,
the crazy business at Mickie James on Twitter, the Mickie James on Instagram. You are an entertaining follow on Twitter.
I'm very entertaining.
I
have a good sense of humor.
Yeah. Do you think Big Pussy's going back to The Sopranos?
I don't know. Didn't he die?
I have.
Did he get killed off?
You know, my wife recently watched all The Sopranos, and I kind of was in and out of her binge watching, and I don't really remember all that much of it.
The only two that survived were Paulie and Tony, but then Tony got off, so Paulie might be the only one that's left, right?
Paulie's the only one. Yeah, Big Pussy died.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe. You know, I think I'm funny. You know, everything's lighthearted over here.
No,
I thought he resembled the gentleman. I thought it was funny.
I thought it was hysterical.
Doesn't he look just like him?
Yes, but
am I being crazy? I thought I was like, God, they're like total brothers. Maybe
no, it's
another
hysterical.
mother.
But nobody clicks the video or gets it, the content. So I don't. As a public figure, how do you deal with the nonsensical bullshit that goes on social media?
Oh, because they're not Soprano fans, you're saying?
Because it just everyone takes everything so serious on the
Everyone
internet.
takes everything literally,
and it goes right over their heads. They don't get the
sarcasm
joke.
doesn't translate
Well,
a lot at all. No, a lot of things don't translate. You know, humor doesn't translate a lot. You know, I thought it was hilarious. It popped me to the point that when I landed, I was still laughing. Like I was still like, they look just like. I thought it was funny, but I'm like, well, if you don't think this is funny, then you probably shouldn't follow me because this is my sense of humor right here. This is what you're getting here.
You have to live to pop yourself.
Well, I just felt like people took it literally as if I was calling him that word, which was not the case. No. I was just saying he looks like this gentleman that is called that.
No, people they take it way too seriously.
Yeah. Like they need to go back and watch Sopranos. It was a hell of a series. Groundbreaking.
What's your favorite show? What's the Mickie James? What can you watch? Like there's nothing on TV when you find time, because I know you're a very busy woman. What's like the Mickie James go-to?
Oh God. I've gone through so my new guilty pleasure is Lucifer, and please, my husband hates the movie.
My wife just finished that series, and I'm like, what is this?
He says it's horrible.
It's
terrible. That I'm like, yeah, but he's the devil, and he's British, babe. He's British. He's devilishly handsome. You know?
Oh,
yeah, until you can see
there's
that he's
angels,
the devil.
there's demons, there's all these other things. I'm into it. Okay, I like it.
I get it. I
like it.
I'm like, what are you watching? And then like he's like looks like me, and then like he goes behind a bush, and then he looks like a burn victim. He's the devil. His brother, but he's living in a human body.
An angel. They're all angels because he was an angel too, if you remember correctly. Yeah, and then Nick goes, he's got a terrible accent. I was like, I think he's actually British. I don't think he's putting on an accent. It's horrible. Horrible. I can't do a British accent, so don't. I sound Australian.
Oh, nice. You know what? I am fascinated by the guy that plays House. He's like super British, but he does the English like you wouldn't even know.
Yeah.
Hugh Laurie, that's his name.
Yeah.
Brits are actually pretty good at doing American accents. It's us Americans that struggle with the British accent. We often come up as like Australian-ish.
Yeah, this like weird New Zealand hybrid sounding thing. Yeah.
Horrible.
It's very weird. Man.
I got one more question for you, Miss James.
I thought you were going to try a British accent right there for a second.
Oh, I can do like, right.
Oh, crikey.
That's
got very Australian.
You sound like a crocodile hunter, dude.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice. Tea and crumpets for you, ma'am.
Australian. You sound like you should be wrestling a crocodile.
Terrible. I'm the next.
You're having high tea with the crocodiles.
I'll be Outback. This is a knife. I'll be Outback Jack 2021.
There you go.
Look out.
Bringing it back.
What was I gonna? Oh, CM Punk's return from a fan's perspective. I don't know if you saw it.
Incredible.
How great is that for the wrestling?
Oh, incredible! It was awesome for wrestling. Again, I didn't see the whole thing. I was at the Astronomicon.
What's an Astronomicon?
It's it was my first Comic-Con back of doing any Comic-Cons. It was it was outside of Detroit. It had a lot of things. Mick Foley was there. We were side by side. So again, I watched most of this stuff during social media. And but we'd already heard because there'd been some teasing about him coming back. And I was like, I wonder. And I was like, well, he might, I think that it was pretty perfect. I thought it was pretty perfect. I thought hometown, something completely different. I thought that he owned it, and he's a star, and he's always been a star. And I think to see how much passion and see the fans react the way they did, from the guy that was crying, like even Punk was crying. They did a close up of his face where he was like, and I've cried in the ring because we love this business so much. And I always say it's the hardest part about this business is you love it so much, and it'll never love you back the way you love it. It never will. The fans will love you, and for the most part they're very loyal, but fans kind of come and go, but you always have this passion and this love for the business, but it's a very one-sided relationship for the most part, but to see him have that magic and have that moment with the fans and to have that, it was just awesome. And it was just really, really cool to see it, and it kind of get goosebumps, and it makes you want to cry about wrestling, and I love that.
I think there's gonna. Oh, sorry, Tony, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I think there's gonna be lots of magic and lots of moments this Saturday night and Sunday at NWA Empowerrr NWA 73, especially when Booger Eater loses. He's gonna be crying. He's gonna snot everywhere. It's gonna be. I hope your grandmother can make tons of the doilies.
All the doilies.
He can just wipe his nasty face with him as your husband stands there with sweet Charlotte, the champion, the reigning, defending, and
right on his snotty nose.
Yeah, could you imagine? Look, you're a mom, right? Kids, look, I was a kid. I put boogers on everything, right?
Ew.
What are you gonna do when you're the NWA World Champion and you got boogers on the belt?
Yeah, what are you gonna do when all these boogers run wild over you,
brother?
I can't. I cannot.
What if he comes back? What if he loses and he comes back in a yellow mask as the yellow booger?
Ew!
You guys are so gross. We have Mickie James in front of us.
That's history.
Trevor is a gentleman. I've never seen him eat a booger in my whole life.
Well, he's not gonna do it in front of people.
I hope not.
Yeah, like he's not walking in knuckle deep in his nostril.
Well, I feel like booger eaters are kind of like I feel like normal booger eaters, they've just forgotten that they just do it, and they just kind of do it as if it's a normal thing.
Fair enough.
I don't think that they pick and choose their moments of like, oh, nobody's around now, so I'm now going to eat the booger.
They pick their moments. I mean, they pick them.
They literally pick their moments.
On the line with Mickie James talking about boogers.
Wow.
This is why I love. This is why I love what we do.
That is going wild right now.
Mickie, I know you're a busy woman. We don't want to keep you much longer. NWA Empowerrr and the 73rd anniversary show this weekend. Fight TV bundles $40. It'll be the best $40 you're going to spend, and you're going to get tons of wrestling this weekend. You're going to get introduced to tons of wonderful wrestling talent on Saturday night. You're going to get to see some historic stuff, NWA tag titles, that Mildred Burke championship. If you're a belt mark like Tony is, because I know you appreciate those things, Tony.
Yeah.
It's going to be an awesome reveal. You and Kylie at the 73rd anniversary show, and that show is stacked too. Camille and Legit Layla, or Camille or Legit will face the winner of the Invitational. Come on, Nelly.
Yeah, so that's just kind of interesting because we don't know what that women's championship match on 73 is going to look like. But yeah, I mean, the title could potentially switch hands twice in like 2 days.
National champion Chris Adonis taking on James Storm.
Yeah, I'm excited.
James Storm coming back. Aaron Stevens and Kratos against La Rebellion. That's a big title match. A lot of dissension between the champs.
Yeah.
We got a lot of stuff going on.
It's going to be so big. And there's going to be a pre-show, and there's matches on the pre-show, and there's a fan fest that's there in St. Louis at the Chase as well. And I think that they're going to be doing some matches during the fan fest as well. And we got the Bushlight Lounge now, which is a whole nother thing. Bougie,
So I have to ask for Matt's sake. Will Dory Funk be there with his whip?
With his whip, maybe. I don't know.
No, he was at the 70th anniversary show, and they were like, they were having like, he was doing the whip at the ringside.
Yeah. whoosh.
That's bold to be there
Yeah.
with your whip.
It is pretty bold.
At ringside.
I could
Yeah.
look.
I did the Dory Funk Dojo. I've done a couple. I did 2 of them, the Dory Funk Dojo, and I was amazed then. And then the last time I saw Dory, he was still getting in the ring with these kids and like would lock up with them and kind of like work with them. And I was so impressed because I remember he would do this thing from the corner to the corner to the corner where you would have to roll, slap the turnbuckle, and then you had to jump and turn into him like this at all 4 corners. And he would meet you there, and I was like, ha! Like this. But this is like one of those like odd memories that it's just I forever will turn and see Dory's face right there when I turn, because it's just I've never forgotten it. It was so, and even when I went back the second time when I did the dojo the second time, and we went through some of the same drills, and it was my favorite drill. I don't know why. I think because you just turn and he's there. And he's like, ah! It was cool.
But that's amazing. I love
It's
that.
so silly, but it's like every time I do, whenever I've done those drills and I've shown up, I've always been like, Dory.
Might see him on Sunday.
Yeah. I'm gonna roll him in there and have him do them with me. Just for nostalgia.
You mentioned Ric Flair. Can we expect any surprises? Anything up the
Well, I
sleeve?
hope so. Well, if I told you, it wouldn't be a surprise, would it?
Fair enough. Don't ring the bell.
I don't ring the bell. That was on point. That was a great answer.
Ric Flair in the NWA. Good.
That's pretty huge.
Peanut butter and jelly. It's a
It
no-brainer.
is. Quit it.
What's your doggy's name?
Her name is Pixie Peabody,
Hi, Pixie.
aka Satan.
Oh,
Oh, hi, Pixie Peabody. I love when dogs have full names. It's the
Yeah,
best.
she has a Twitter account, and I got it started when she was a puppy, and then I realized that I can't even keep a hold of, like, I can't really keep my own Instagram up to date, so to keep hers up to date too was a lot. Yeah, I just posted a first picture in like months on there for her. So
Well, there you
she's
go.
pretty
Go
over.
follow Pixie Peabody.
Pixie Peabody, yeah, she might be more entertaining than me.
I don't know. I think you're pretty funny. So
Yeah, maybe I should just make her an alias where she can just kind of like, rib
Hijack
everything.
you.
Yeah, just kind of say whatever she wants. Bark orders.
There you
Bark up
go.
everybody's tree.
There
you know?
go.
Oh,
Mickey, it's been an absolute
no, it's so
pleasure.
fun.
At
guys are
Mickey
awesome.
James on Twitter, the Mickey James on Instagram. Nelly, come on, say bye. Bye.
Bye.
This weekend, NWA Empowerrr NWA
So excited.
73rd anniversary
Thank you.
show. Thank you,
Oh, Nelly, come on.
Nelly.
She's really doing it.
Nelly, this is the go home cue. Get out of here.
Can't help it. She's so good. She's like, if this is the only time I get loving, I have to
It's
come
not,
in here
though.
and demand it.
It's not.
He has
And
no choice. Can't heal me.
the other one, I don't know where Trixie is, but she's just as worse.
Yeah.
See,
Just as worse.
Matt doesn't talk well.
English is not my forte. Not my best.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
here's the podcasting.
Cheerio. Probably shouldn't be doing a podcast because I can't speak the language, but whatever. Trixie is just as bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Just
then
as
Mo-
worse.
just as worse. That's the name of the episode. Mickey James, just as worse.
This is worse. This is worse as you remembered.
And then no, you're fantastic. Muda, we have to keep Muda downstairs because he's a boy and he don't like the girls and he's an old
Oh.
funky man.
Oh,
So
I
I
He
keep
spits
the girls
mess
up
at
here.
the cats. It's terrible.
It's not hard.
She's like, I got better things to do than listen to this guy talk about his goddamn cats.
That's a yes.
You're like the crazy cat man.
She's a legend.
100%.
And we're talking about boogers and cats.
There it is.
And NWA Empowerrd, the most
No
important
doubt.
thing here.
Yeah.
Mickey, before we let you go, is there anything you want to leave the fans with?
Oh man. No, I just want to say thank you to everyone who has been so supportive of my career thus far and moving forward, who have been amazing, when talking about Empowerrr and all the things to come and what I'm trying to do. And who's coming to St. Louis. It means a lot to me. Everyone who's ordered on Fight TV, thank you so much. I love you. I want to hear what you think. And if you haven't ordered yet, please go order because it would mean a lot to me. Because I'm working real hard on it and I put a lot of eggs in this basket, so I would appreciate it so they don't get scrambled.
I remember years ago finding women's extreme wrestling DVDs.
Oh God.
And God help me, you as a young wrestler were the bright spot of that collection.
Thank you.
And
That was torture doing those shows.
I mean, I didn't want to bring it up. I just want to put in perspective that I've been following your career from that long, and you've always impressed from your match at WrestleMania with Trish, which I thought was a phenomenal, off the charts. The heat that you got in that match was amazing.
Thank
To
you.
where you are now, you've just continued to impress for all these years.
I appreciate
Thank you
that.
for everything you've done.
No, you're amazing. And I actually had a lot of fun times at those women extreme wrestling. It was just different. It was a different time. And like, that was what I'm talking about. Like, women weren't training to be wrestlers. And I was one of the few women that were training. And I always made sure I was wrestling wrestlers on those shows, because I'm like, if I'm going to drive to Froggy's Bar in Dover, Delaware, and have to endure all of these things, I'm going to wrestle Riptide, or I'm going to wrestle someone that is going to make me better.
And thank you for doing that.
No, it was awesome. It was a good time. Dan Coal, sound guy, still sound guy.
Well, I wish I had something nice to say.
Sound guy, I still hate you. No.
Well, I as a women's wrestling fan and a female wrestling fan, a fan of women's wrestling and a female wrestling fan, I can't tell you enough how much it meant to me that I actually get to sit here and talk to Mickie James at all. It means the absolute world. And this I'm actually substituting for someone who got stuck in Boston on this podcast. So
yeah,
I am thankful for the hurricane, because this rules for me selfishly.
I
so
appreciate that. Yeah, they can stay in Boston.
So
yeah, stay in Boston, Kevin. No one cares. I guess did it.
Look, I would love to. He's in the queue. Do you just want to let him come in and say hello to Mickie before she goes?
Well, I just don't,
It'd be so funny if you signed off as he comes in, like at the exact moment. Please click out the second that he comes in.
Hello.
It's breaking up. Oh God, it's breaking up. Oh God.
Oh, I heard you're in some rough water over there. You okay?
Who's that?
You.
You.
Oh no, I'm in great water. My water's fine.
Okay, good. I thought you had a hurricane.
Oh no, yeah, up in Boston, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's crazy to think that they're not really equipped to handle a hurricane. I don't know when the last time Boston ever had a hurricane.
I'll tell you when it was, because I was
Go
there for
ahead.
that one too.
Kevin, what do you do to Boston?
Hurricane Bob, 1992.
Oh.
I was in Cape Cod 30 years ago.
Wait, there was a hurricane named Bob?
Oh yeah.
Bob.
They did the real deal with the names back then.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got Henri.
Oh, we get like Ingrid,
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah.
Henri. Can you pick a more pretentious name for a storm?
Kevin is a
Bob.
comedian, by the way.
Yes.
I don't want to ruin the flow of the interview. I just want to show my face and say hi to you, Mickie
Well,
James.
hello. Well, I'm glad you're okay in the hurricane. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Good.
There you
Kevin,
go.
Kevin, can you do a
I'm here.
British accent for Mickie James? 'Cause
Yeah.
we
Can you?
both have.
How's your British accent?
Oh, well, it's okay,
You
giblets.
sound like a valley girl.
Giblets.
You know?
Giblets.
Franks and beans.
Franks and beans.
To answer your question, Mickie, no, he can't do
Yeah.
a British accent.
Not. It's okay.
So we all failed at the
Hello.
Cheerio. That's
Oh, there you go. Chimchery, Mary Poppins.
I did. I was a huge Mary Poppins fan, and I thought out of that I would be able to speak, with a British accent forever, but it did not work out for me. So
No.
it's okay.
I think you did. I think it worked out for you in other fields, though. I
Yeah,
think you're doing
it's all
okay.
right. I'm doing okay. Yeah.
Mickey's doing all right.
Yeah.
She's doing fantastic. She's
Do you want his number?
yes, please.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That'd be fantastic. Mickie, it's been an absolute
You guys are
pleasure. I hope
great.
you had a good time. We're
Thank
super
you.
excited for this weekend.
Thank
and
you so much.
anytime you want to come back on and talk about cats and boogers, and I got lots of horse questions. I run a food truck here in Jersey, and I did like a horse show.
Okay. That was going
And,
taking a bad turn.
No, and it just it seems
I
like
thought
a
the same
lot.
thing. I thought the
Yeah.
same thing.
I'm like,
No, Mr. Hand here. Come on, Nelly, what are you doing? It seems like a lot to take care of a horse.
It is.
You got to brush them and you got to feed them and you got the
Yeah.
horseshoe thing. Like, it seems like it hurts, but people are like, no, it doesn't hurt. I don't know.
It's like your fingernails.
Yeah, but when you like, what's
Oh,
up?
we got to run in.
Gotta run it.
We got to run in. Come get mommy. It's time we're done here.
Yeah.
Dinner time.
Is that the handsome fella that's in the Nick Aldis action figure commercials?
Sure is.
We got a celebrity tonight.
Guy.
Yeah.
Well,
Awesome.
thank you again.
No, thank you. This
Hopefully-
was so fun. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate you guys putting over Empowerrr and stuff. So you
Well,
gotta
we'll
let me know what you think as
Saturday.
well. Except for if it has anything to do with boogers or
Well, hopefully your husband can take care of that Sunday night.
I hope so. Yeah.
So do I, because look, with all due respect, it'd be a black eye for the NWA if the Booger Eater was the champion. When we do picks, I'm picking Nick Aldis. We pick the pay-per-views on this show, Mickey. I'm taking Nick to retain. I will be devastated.
You will be devastated. Yeah.
Me and Nelly, we're going on a hunger strike.
Boycotting. You're going on a hunger strike.
I need to
God.
do something to trim down.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, don't put Nelly on a hunger strike then, because she'll eat your face when you're sleeping, and then that would be bad.
That's a
Great point.
Yes.
Very good point.
Mickey James, everyone, at Mickey James on Twitter, the Mickey James on Instagram. Give her a follow. Support
you.
NWA Empowerrr this Saturday night, 8 o'clock, Fight TV. Get the bundle package with the 73rd anniversary show. It's wrestling the way it was meant to be.
Oh, I love it.
It's not all bells and whistles and bullshit. It's wrestling the way it's meant to be.
Wrestling, baby. Yeah, I love it.
We love you, Mickey. Thank you again. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank you.
Good night, Mickey.
Have a good
Thanks.
one. All right. Bye. Yeah, Bub.
Mickey James, everyone.
All right, guys. What did you guys talk about?
Boogers.
Boogers and cat butts. The usual.
Cat butts. A little bit about NWA, but the most important thing was we circled back around on the boogers.
I jumped in the Facebook chat and my brother said, I saw my brother post like boogers and buttholes. That's the name of the show.
Well, butthole is a dead giveaway that it's the cat, right? I mean, come on.
Oh, yeah, true.
I mean,
True. That's a good point.
death taxes and Nelly's butthole. That's the certainties in life.
hardcore buttholes.
She was fantastic.
She's
Was she
awesome.
good?
Something I learned about the Mevo during that. Apparently, it's not charged up, plugged into your laptop, so it wound up dying about an hour. So there's that.
Oh.
She was very generous with her time, I guess, eh?
She was. Yeah, she gave us like an hour.
Yeah, we were. I mean, we were flowing. She was unbelievable.
That's awesome. I can't wait to listen to it.
Oh, such a fun.
Yeah, I'm so glad you were late. It's awesome. I got to sit in.
Yeah, what the fuck, Kate? Again?
I'm taking over. I said I'm like on a Brock Lesnar deal. I don't come around that often, but when I do, I'm making moves.
So, Matt, what
always
hurricane are
welcome.
you going to be stuck in next week? It's your turn to have a week off for Kate to replace you.
Yeah.
No hurricanes for me.
Oh,
But you got obviously you're back though, Kevin. So everything worked out, right?
Yeah, for the most part, a little turbulent flight, but it was good. It was great. It was well worth it. Obviously, missing Mickey James stunk and stinks, and I can't believe it happened. But it stinks. But what are you gonna do? It's nothing I could have controlled or.
I think it went really well, and I think there's definitely a possibility that we could get her back on because I think she had a really good time. Otherwise, she wouldn't have stayed on for an hour.
Yeah. It just looks like you guys had fun, and if the little bit that I had here at the end is any indication, it seems like she had a great time. So well done.
Just make sure you have her on again when Kevin's at some, like next time she's on, make sure it's around like a major action figure situation so that I can come on.
Yeah. How about like tomorrow, Kate?
Why, what's going on tomorrow? Is there more figures tomorrow?
Nah, there's a show in Newark, a WrestlePro show in Newark tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
on a
Yeah.
Tuesday?
Yeah.
Where's it at?
I don't know. It's at some
Like
rec
those
hall.
weird things for like the city of Newark.
Yeah, it's like
It's
to
at some, like,
bring people together or something like
Sports
that.
complex thing.
Yeah. I didn't know about it till Kate told me about it.
Wow.
They were going to Alaska this week.
The next day, they're flying out.
Oh.
I guess because they figured they're going to be in Newark. They're going to the airport. They might as well make a day out
Let's
of
see
it.
let's see who's on it. We got Follow, we got Hawkins,
Brian Myers.
we got Cheeseburger, we got LSG, we got Hot Dog Starks, you got Justin Carino. I think that's Mimi. Is that Mimi?
It's your boyfriend.
That's right. You're a good personal friend.
Kev, I'm glad you came back at the point that you did.
Yeah, I feel like I'm tanking the show right now.
No, it's fine because you know what? We got so much more to talk about. We got returns. We got pay-per-views. We got picks to cover. But Kev, the reason why I'm happy you're here is because I need you to tell everybody what we always say about this time, my friend.
Back after this.
We know you love shopping at Amazon, and we also know you love listening to the Shining Wizards. That's why you're hearing this commercial right now. But were you aware that you can combine the two, do all your shopping, and support the show at the same time? Well, of course you can. Instead of going to Amazon.com, go to Amazon.shiningwizards.com and make your purchases the way you normally would. You're going to get the same great low prices, and a portion of whatever you purchase is going to go to support the Shining Wizards. How great is that? You, by purchasing anything that you normally would anyway, is going to support us. That's a win-win in my book. So from now on, when you shop at Amazon, go to Amazon.shiningwizards.com or click the banner on our website and do all of your shopping with the Shining Wizards.
Because of the obvious threat to untold numbers of citizens and because of the crisis which is even now developing, this radio station will remain on the air day and night. This station and hundreds of other radio and TV stations throughout this part of the country are pooling their resources through an emergency network hookup to keep you informed of all developments.
Horns up, everyone. One on the Shining Wizards Network. Be sure every Friday to check out Radioactive Metal. Radioactive Metal is one of the longest running podcasts on the interweb. And every week we bring you a fistful of metal, including interviews with all your favorite artists, discuss all the metal news, and feature the best tunes on the air today. So grab a Lemmy, join your cool Uncle Snowy and co-host Aaron in the pit.
Your recognized symbol of excellence in sports entertainment broadcasting from the current to the way back. Join the impact player Phil Brea and the Portuguese Man of War Choppy for the Turnbuckle Throwbacks Wrestling Podcast. Live every week on rantemradio.com. Get all our episodes over at iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, Audio Boom, Google Play, ShiningWizardsNetwork.com, and TurnbuckleThrowbacks.com.
Are you tired of being told what to think and believe by Hollywood elites and politicians who just don't care about you?
Tired of not getting the truth when you watch the news?
Tired of trying to figure out what pronoun to use?
Tired of mob mentality when all you want to do is think for yourself and make up your own mind?
That's where we come in. This is Justin
and Vince,
your host of Inconclusive Breakdown.
We are a weekly anti-PC podcast bringing you entertainment and current event news without any spin.
If you want to truly stay informed on what's going on in the world, then give us a listen every Sunday, anywhere you get podcasts, at least till Zuckerberg and Twitter Jack deplatform us.
And as always, we're proud members of the Shining Wizards Network.
Tired of the PC police telling you what you can and cannot say? Want a show that travels back to the 80s and 90s where the badass hosts have beaten down cancel culture on 3 separate occasions and carried on to gloat about it? Since 2013, The Midnight Jury is that show. Travel back to the malls and arcades, pop in your VHS, and join us where the 80s and 90s return from the dead. Conan, tell them where to find us.
WLWstudios.com, home of the Midnight Jury podcast hosted by Midnight Mike and Calvin Brody.
Also available on all major podcast platforms via the Shining Wizards Network, and join in the conversation on Twitter at Midnight Jury.
What's up, wrestling fans? You want something awesome? Check out Wrestling Night in Canada here on the Shining Wizards Network. We're three Canadian metalheads uniting for the love of pro wrestling. Every episode, we go over all the latest news and special events with the odd unique interview as well. So grab a cold one and check out Wrestling Night in Canada, eh?
Are you tired of being uninformed? Together, we can change all of that. Experience a podcast like you've never heard before. You'll gain knowledge, have some laughs, because we believe this is the last AEW podcast you'll ever need. Join us every Wednesday night at 10:15 p.m. on rantemradio.com and Facebook Live. We can also be found on all major podcast forums as part of the Shining Wizards Network. So stop listening to inferior AEW podcasts and bring a new podcast into your life by joining us.
Join the Mark Order Podcast.
Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Mark Order Pod and on Facebook.com/Mark Order Pod. Don't forget to tag us on social media and use hashtag Join the Mark Order, because if you don't find us,
we will find you.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. My name is Thomas, and what's your name?
I'm Alan.
Alan.
Oh, yeah. We're brothers.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the mother, same mother and father.
Your room was.
Oh, we shared the room.
Shared a room.
We shared the room.
Thought I knew your face.
Yeah, we go way back, mate. Yeah.
We should do a podcast then.
We have.
We do a podcast.
We do a podcast.
What's it called?
The Broadcast. Yeah, that was planned.
Yeah. Well.
What do we do?
Well, we cover all different things in the world of pop culture. We're talking about comic books, we're talking about professional wrestling, and we're talking about movies. Go back and watch classic retro wrestling events, the likes of WWE, WCW, and if you do like that, you can check us out on Apple iTunes, also on Podbean, Anchor, and on Podknife. Also check us out on Twitter at The Broadcast. That's BROKAST.
Yeah, it's all right. Good on you.
Yeah. Instagram also at The Broadcast Podcast.
Remember, we don't spell it with a C. We spell it with a K.
Sorry, mate.
Take it easy.
Yes. Hello.
Hey. All right. It's time to plug those that support us on our Patreon.
It's time to support those who plug us.
Sorry, I was queuing up a cover of this, so maybe we don't get a copyright strike. If you're enjoying our show, if you enjoyed the Mickie James interview, if you enjoyed Brian Clark, aka Adam Bomb, Roxy, Dak Draper, Eric Young, Trisha Dora, any of our past guests, and you want to support us on Patreon, go over to our Patreon, patreon.com/Wizards Podcast. For as little as $1 a month, you can support the Shining Wizards Wrestling Podcast. Kathy Hummer, the queen of the Shining Wizards. Manny Crazzo, the king of the Shining Wizards. Danny and Anthony Rusinello, the AOP of the SWP. Ryan Arthur over at elementary.com. Elementary Brewing here in Hackensack, New Jersey. They're available not all, but most local ShopRites and such.
That's right.
Sean Toe, Sean Calejo, Ryan Schlong, Brett Simonello.
What do you hear? What do you say?
Kate the Great Hensler.
Who?
At On Deck IC, Fightful, Mark Order Podcast. If you don't know Kate by now, shame on you. Matt
Kate from
Garifo-
Fight Club, you mean?
Kate from Fight Club, yes. Matt Garifo, no relationship to the K. J. G.
No.
Maddie Mellinger, Christine Friesendorf, Mark Parloni,
Happy birthday, Mark.
Scotch Drinkmore, Jay Kopp, the big cop of pump from the Turnbuckle Throwbacks, Thomas Kops, the Mott Spock, Michael Hammond, Matthew Birch, the Bergman, the LeBron James of Mattel Elite Figure Collecting, Carrie Cowling, Brendan Haney, and his pal Antonio Horseman makes experimental music at harvestmanrecords.bandcamp.com. Mr. William Mercier Jr.
Ooh, this is gonna feel so good. Lives are gonna be in William Mercier's hands. You know what I mean?
We know what you mean, Kev. Absolutely.
Oh, boys and girls, it feels so good to be with you. An hour late, $1 short, but I'm here and I love it. Let's
Well,
talk some wrestling.
Yeah, there's a ton to talk about. And obviously, we didn't get into it before Mickie James joined us because I think this is going to be a big conversation. But Friday night, what's up, Tony?
I was going to say the biggest news of the day. You mentioned it Saturday night. Becky Lynch, the man, is back.
Oh yeah, and Brock Lesnar too.
You're brand new SmackDown Women's Champion.
That's big news.
She's
What about
back,
Kaylee Ray?
bro.
What about Kaylee Ray in NXT? That's huge news,
Dude. Fucking Brock Lesnar came back and tossed Cena around like a rag doll. He wants the tribal chief.
That's right.
I can't think of anything more significant than that.
No, there wasn't, because there wasn't anything.
Especially like on a personal level.
No, okay, that's right.
Are you all look? I appreciate everybody on Twitter. I appreciate the groups that the Shining Wizards Wrestling Podcast is, the retweets, the likes. It's inevitable, people. The biggest fucking return of the week, the biggest return of the goddamn year, biggest return in a while happened Friday night. Tony's crushing those Trulies. Kevin, he did not do one during the Mickie James interview.
That's all that matters.
God, you disgusting gaseous.
The first dance, AEW Dynamite or AEW Rampage, excuse me.
You didn't even notice. I had my Inner Circle shirt on tonight.
What does that have to do with anything?
I'm an AEW fan. Woo!
I
be coming. I be coming.
One more time, Tony.
I be coming.
And all we want to talk about is CM Punk, and by we I mean me for the rest of my life.
Man,
no.
What?
Listen, Kate,
what a moment.
Kate, you weren't alone. Listen, I literally just got back to my hotel room just in time for like the little bit of a pause and entrance. And listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm 38 years old. I'm a man. Guys, I'm a man, right? I'm a man. I cried.
Aw.
I cried, dude. I cried.
Now wait,
Like-
Kate, before we get your take, you were talking Wednesday last week that you were gonna have Ryan drive you home so you would like what happened? Like, did you make it home on time?
So I got a hotel for the night because I was also going to jump on Fightful. And then I was like, well, if I'm going to get a hotel, I might as well go tonight too, because I'm already going to be in Philly. So went to the ROH show. We did leave early.
What match did you leave during?
Danny's.
We left between matches. I think we left right after, or no, we left during the street fight clusterfuck with Deppen and everybody. So we left during that and we got back to the hotel. I wish you could have seen it. I literally had the TV on and turned to the channel in case we were like coming in. Like I was so prepared to run in there, but we got there with a couple minutes to spare. And I was like, I hope I don't regret leaving the ROH show. Like, I'm pretty sure with what this meant to me as a wrestling fan and a person and the way it was going to happen, I was like, I feel like it's going to happen at the top of the show because otherwise people are going to chant for him the entire
show.
The entire show. You
CM
have
Punk
to
chant. 100% right.
rip the Band-Aid off immediately, right? And then yeah, I mean, I was really, really taken aback by how emotional he was and like how excited it seemed like he was to be back in pro wrestling. And the pop was just fucking insane. And there were a couple times where I turned to Ryan and I was like, this is bonkers, right? Like, this is incredible. This isn't just me being a mark. He was like, no. This is great. Like, this is incredible. It felt healthy for wrestling. It felt very, go ahead, Kevin.
It's a needle mover. It's the game changer. It's everything, every cliche you want to put on it. It's the biggest return. It's a guy who said he was done. And for 7 years or however long it was, he committed to that. But now he's back at a different place that deserves him. Like, it deserves CM Punk. It deserves these moments. And they're going to keep coming, man. I'm telling you, CM Punk, man, and what this means for the current roster, I don't know. But, like, man, CM Punk is just going to be, God, that's just like, how many times have you watched it since, Kate?
I think I've watched it like 3 times because I watched it when it was happening, obviously.
Right.
And I I was still like pretty stunned by it and like kind of frozen. And then like once he was done talking, I like got really emotional. And then I watched it again the next morning and was like a mess again. And then I watched it one more time so I could just like appreciate it. But I also was like, I had to jump on Fightful after, and I was like, I have to be a person. Like I have to get it.
Be a mark.
I was, but I was like, I still have to intelligently talk about this a little bit. So, but I mostly was a mess. They fielded the actually having insights about things piece of it because I was a disaster. But like it just seemed like he did a really good job of being incredibly authentic, and it wasn't like I have a chip on my shoulder thing. Like the words he was using, like I couldn't get well in the place that made me sick, was just like such a beautiful way to phrase that. I felt like everything coming from Ring of Honor and then hearing him put over Ring of Honor on television was like such a cool thing. I loved what he said. He used their verbiage, right? He was saying, I left professional wrestling for sports entertainment, essentially, right? And like it all felt so sincere. The stuff with the ice cream bars is just fucking awesome. Like if you saw it online today, he paid for it out of his own pocket because he wanted to give everybody an ice cream bar. Like what a fun thing to like leave them with. I just felt like it was such a sincere moment. And then like watching it back the other two times, like all of the feelings from like when I was 24 and seeing him the first time, like have an impact on like coming out of adolescence, Kate, like all of that came rushing back. That was really cool. So,
and if you equate it to like a sports, like post-game press conference, he said all the right things.
Yeah.
Like he said all the right things that make you believe in him again and believe that it's going to be fine and that he's okay. He's in a good place now. He's in a great place now. Company and like internally, he's in a great place. And it's I'm telling you right now, like I've never been a huge CM Punk guy. I've liked them, you know, this and that, but this is a moment that you'll always remember where you were when CM Punk showed up in AEW. Matt.
Very interested to see what our resident AEW expert Tony has to say about this.
I enjoyed it. It was everything it needed to be. Shut Up Excalibur was not just a Twitter handle. I'm thankful that nobody on commentary opened their mouth for any of this, because I know a lot of people were pissed off when Malachi Black debuted that they just couldn't shut up. So I'm glad they shut up for CM Punk. Top of the hour was perfect timing. The ice cream bar. It's like, I didn't think about it until Jim Cornette said it. Jim Cornette absolutely loved this, by the way. He's like, he said it wasn't the way I would have booked it, but it was so much better. So to get praise like that from Jim Cornette is just insane. But he made a smart, when he described at the end with the ice cream bars, like right away, I thought, okay, he always wanted the ice cream bars. It's perfect. But he also said it was an Andy Kaufman kind of thing to do, where it was like, oh, I'm going to treat everybody to milk and cookies. Come down the street. We're going to go somewhere. It was just so over the top. It was so great.
He also like, I didn't find out until today, he used like a locally sourced ice cream bar place.
Yes.
And he had been talking to them for like 2 years about how to ramp up that many 15,000 ice cream bars from like this local shop or whatever. And he had actually said the Andy Kaufman thing in that media scrum that he did after, and said,
okay.
I think when John Lester left, he like bought a whole bar, a beer. He just thinks that's like a cool thing in sports when an athlete's leaving a town or coming back or whatever, when they just like do something like that. So that was really cool and a special moment. And a couple other things that came out of that press scrum that I didn't even think about, which is, of course, like part of his insistent denial over the past 7 years of I'm not coming back to pro wrestling hasn't just been WWE. He mentioned like how many times people have come to him with, hey, I have money in TV. Hey, I have money in TV. Yeah. Like he was like, I've gotten so many offers. And he was like, guess how many of them actually came true? One. It was AEW. And he also said, he was like, there was just no way I was coming back to an empty arena either. So he had said that like he had been talking to Tony Khan for a year and a half, but he doesn't need to come back, right? So he was going to take the wait and see approach. He wasn't coming back during the pandemic. he was going to see if this thing had legs at all or if it was going to fold. And he wanted to make sure it was a brand that he was excited to come back to, because if not, he doesn't need to. He's a multimillionaire, right? So but I didn't even think about how many times he was probably getting calls of like, hey, I'm gonna reboot. He said ECW was the one that people always said, we're gonna reboot ECW and we've got TV and we've got money. And he was like, and of course nobody did. Like none of them have panned out. So
Wait, are we talking about a reboot? A reboot?
Oh, everybody's rebooting ECW and then it never goes through, right? So I didn't even think about that, like how many people probably told him like, hey, if you come back, we've got TV and money. And he was like, fucking nobody did. But like he had to constantly be denying that he wasn't coming back to pro wrestling because he was constantly getting offers that never came to fruition. So that was part of the timing of it all. And Kevin, what you said about like these moments in AEW, I turned to Ryan after that and I was like, they still have Daniel Bryan. Like this is going to be fucking insane when
they still got stuff in their pocket.
Yeah.
So
it's gonna be wild, but what a special moment. And like, I don't know. I said it a few times, like it made me feel like a kid and I didn't even watch wrestling as a kid. Like what do you do with that? Like how does that even happen? Like it was such a nostalgic moment, but also a very rooted in real time moment. It was just the coolest shit ever from someone who was like a supermarket. And to your guys' point, like it was a perfect segment. I love that he clarified immediately, like I'm fighting Darby Allin at All Out. He's not going to be near the title picture. We know when he's going to wrestle first. It's going to be at All Out. It's going to be against Darby, which I think is so smart because he hasn't been in a ring in 7.5 years. So why not have this guy who can bump like fucking crazy for you be your first opponent? He's their biggest star that's not holding a title right now. They're both straight edge. They both have very real family alcoholic stories tied to them. Like they can ramp this up in 2 weeks with promos in a second. And he even said in the media scrum that he was like, if I was a kid, Darby Allin would be my favorite wrestler in the world. So that's how I decided who I wanted to fight coming in, which I thought was really cool and made so much sense. So but I just like the clarity, like he's not gonna be running around after Omega going into All Out. Like this is what's happening. And he said he wanted to put over young talent and that's what he's going to do from the beginning. So
how long did it take you to order the new shirt?
I couldn't. It kept crashing whenever I tried to log on. So I'm gonna log on tonight.
Here's a fun question for you. The CM Punk shirt is now the highest selling design in less than 72 hours on Pro Wrestling Tees, breaking the record. Do you know what t-shirt it broke?
Was it
I read this. I know the answer. I think it's bullshit because hasn't there been like 45 guys that have broken the record in the past year?
Yeah, like Sting did it.
Yeah, right. So like when they said who it was, I was surprised.
This says this record has been held by this t-shirt for the last 7 years.
But you see, that's bullshit because every other fucking week when a new t-shirt came out, Pro Wrestling Tees was like, they set the fucking record for this.
No. They would say
24-hour record, maybe.
With AEW, this is the highest selling AEW shirt. Was the last one a CM Punk shirt?
No.
What was it?
It's the furthest thing
I know
anyone would think of.
I know it though.
Yep.
Oh, what is it? I knew it 3 hours ago.
No, it's the fucking
Bone
Soldier
Yeah.
Bullet Club.
Yes.
That's such a weird one.
That is
Bone
weird.
Soldier.
Which makes me question that. Like, whatever.
Don't question the Bone Soldier.
Whatever.
How dare you, Tony?
And if you want to be a Mark shirt, prowrestlingtees.com/Shining Wizards.
Shining Wizards is correct.
There you go.
Another interesting thing I saw CM Punk say was that the way that nobody said anything about Brody Lee was very important to him in terms of like, they knew internally that he was not doing well and not a single fucking soul said a word to anyone. And that was CM Punk said that was important to him.
He mentioned that in his promo?
No, not in his promo, but in the afterward, the press stuff and all the.
Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah, dude, yeah, that's huge. Like no one, like even people that in other companies that knew didn't say a word. So Yeah, that's aces.
But I think it's huge for pro wrestling. I think it's awesome. And man, it's got the wrestling world is on fire.
Oh baby.
That. Kate, you were at Ring of Honor for 2 nights.
It was.
How was that experience? How did the schlong enjoy Ring of Honor live?
Longly.
Oh God.
It was fantastic. No, it was great. I'd never been to the ECW arena or the 2300.
Look, I got news
arena.
for you, kid.
I know it's not the ECW arena, but it was still cool.
No, it is. It is. And Brody King said it himself.
No, it's not the ECW arena. Brody King was never at the ECW arena. He's at the
Oh,
2300 arena. Fake ass bullshit.
It was still cool.
Did the women's room have the ECW thing when you walked in, or is that just a men's room thing?
That's just the men's room. One thing that's nice about wrestling is the women's line is actually shorter than the men's lines for the bathroom. That never happens to me except there and metal shows. So that was nice.
Yeah. But it's never nicer though, probably.
It's never nicer.
It's probably never well
Oh,
kept.
like maintained? No.
Yeah, no,
usually
it's probably the worst.
Not
Women
here.
are-
2300, it was good.
Men get a bad rep. Women are fucking gross in the bathroom. Women's rooms are disgusting.
They're the worst, dude.
And I don't get it. Like women have to sit, right? So like a guy, like you can understand like if it's a mess because guys are fucking sloppy, but no, dude, women are fucking raw.
Going into the women's room at a Chili's after the restaurant closes is one of the most horrifying things in the world.
Did I ever tell you the story about my wife's graduation party at Chi-Chi's in Sea Caucus? I think I told you this story.
I feel like I would remember it based on
She
where
walked in
the
the ladies' room. She walked in the ladies' room. There's a guy in a stall doing coke off one of the toilet seats.
I mean, it's you.
That happened to me in New York so many times, bro. I
It's Chi-Chi's in Sea Caucus. Like, what the?
Dude, you know how grimy Sea Caucus is?
I was gonna
And-
say that actually makes a shit ton of sense.
Yeah, it's Sea Caucus, and the place is called Chi-Chi's. Like, come on, man.
ROH was great. It was very fun. Night 2 was a little bit stronger of a card and a little bit more packed, I would say, just like crowd wise. It was but both nights were super, super fun. That cage match ruled. The women's stuff was awesome. The pure match was great. Both pure matches were great. Jonathan Gresham's ridiculous. And then they're teasing this like 2 biggest free agents thing, or 2 free agents on the market coming in. So that is very interesting. But it was really cool to see a really great women's match with the tag, especially with your girl Roxy, who was fantastic. Miranda Alize, whose name I've pronounced wrong literally up until this episode.
Miranda Alize.
Yeah. No, they're just laughing.
Great. Oh, Chelsea Green looked really good, and Willow is. I guess she got hurt. I did not notice live that whatever spot she got her eye like busted out of her head. But she was probably out of the 4 of them, I was surprised, like got the biggest reaction, more so than Chelsea Green. She was very, very over with the crowd, and she's just so magnetic is the word I use with her. Like her charisma just really, really draws you in. She's such a fun talent to see, especially live. So that was really cool. But that cage match, whoo boy, to end the show on night 2, boy, oh boy. Danhausen's over as fuck. Gio and CB had a great match. I'm trying to think of what else. Tony Deppen was really, really fun to see live. The best.
Kevin, you got a little bit of that in today at the airport. What did you catch that you liked? I saw you tweeted at LSG and cheeseburger.
Yeah, I just tweeted at LSG because he's my boy, and it was that finishing sequence. If you watched it, was so like technically really well done. Like it was a great match, and I just like that these guys are getting their shot, because Cheeseburger, now that he's world famous CB, is totally different presentation than he was as Cheeseburger, and it's just so cool. I also saw the 8-man on night one, which I think Matt we talked about and was kind of a mess, but ended up being fine with Shane Taylor Promotions getting involved in it, which is great. What else did I catch? I caught Flip and Bandito. Caught that on night one. Night two, I didn't get to a whole lot, so I will let that go to the Razor.
I would definitely the cage match. If you just watch one thing from night two, it's one of the best cage matches I've seen in a very long time.
The vibe live was ridiculous. Like people's reactions to, and when I watched it back, like you couldn't hear the pops the same way they were live, but some of those spots in that cage match, like people were standing out of their seats, like I mean walking in from the aisles, because there were just so many crazy ass spots in that. That was one of my favorite Matt Taven matches ever. It was
all right, so
good.
fill me in. What I don't mind spoilers at this point, so fill me in on what actually, I think one of my figures fell. What actually happened?
They started, Vincent came out first. I wouldn't let Taven in the ring. They brawled around the 2300 arena. They finally got in there. Bateman came down with barbed wire. They put it on they tied it in between the cages. Taven got busted wide open. Vita Von Star came down, threw a bag of thumbtacks in the ring. Then she climbed up to the top of the cage and jumped off onto Vincent instead of Taven. Then she got backdropped onto the thumbtacks. And then Dutch came down and he got put through a table.
Vita Von Youch.
It was just great storytelling. It was brutal. It was the way a cage match needs to be. Vincent stood tall at the end, which I think a lot of people were surprised by, because now he gets Taven's title shot. I loved it. I loved the match is awesome. If you have time, you don't necessarily have to watch all of night two, although to case point, night two was better in my opinion. The 8-man between the Foundation and Violence Unlimited was fantastic, and the story they're telling with Jonathan Gresham wants to get in there and go against Brody King, and Jay Lethal won't let him because Jay Lethal knows what Brody King can do, and they on commentary were playing it up like Jay Lethal hasn't fully recovered either from what Brody King did to him at
and Violence Unlimited won that match too, correct?
Yes, Violence Unlimited won the weekend.
I did see that. Yeah.
The only bummer of it was that, well, first of all, to your point about Jonathan Gresham and the story they're telling, I'm trying not to like go so far down the fantasy booking rabbit hole with like Punks and Bryans and all of the releases that came from WWE. I really hope we get Daniel Bryan versus Jonathan Gresham somewhere, somehow. Daniel Bryan said he wanted that in an interview. I hope it happens, because Jonathan Gresham is such an incredible talent, and not to put over my new boss, but his interview with Sean Ross Sapp, if you haven't heard it, is his love for Ring of Honor.
Kate, leave the name drop. You can't just do that. You can't just drop names like that, because that's my thing. That's what I do.
I was waiting for the bell.
Yeah.
I rang the bell.
Oh, I didn't hear it. I'm sorry. But listen to it if you get a chance, because his love for Ring of Honor and the insight into his wrestling mind and how much he's so passionate about pure wrestling. Like it's so wonderful to see. Like I hope he gets the credibility factor that would give him and the exposure that would give him, because he said multiple times at that interview, he was like, I don't want to leave Ring of Honor. He was like, I don't want to wrestle anywhere else.
So I'll field this question to all three of you guys. Do you think that if Daniel Bryan, because we've seen this before, like Matt Hardy made a stop at Ring of Honor before he went back, that these people make the stops there before they go somewhere else, just like ECW, if Daniel Bryan made a stop in Ring of Honor to face Jonathan Gresham, do you think that would lessen the impact that his debut potentially with AEW would have?
100%.
T-Donk.
100%. And I think the way you do it is have Daniel Bryan make his debut couple months down the road, you do a Forbidden Door thing and you have him go wrestle Jonathan Gresham that way.
So now does Gresham, do you think that Ring of Honor gives Gresham the pass to go to AEW?
Whatever works, whatever they think is better. I would think that Ring of Honor would push, and I would think and hope that AEW would let Daniel Bryan just go to Ring of Honor. I think that makes more sense.
Okay. So you make the splash in AEW and then let him do whatever he wants from there.
Well, not whatever he wants, but
you know what I mean? That he does that from
yes.
there. Yeah.
That.
There was a lot of talk with part of the reason he wanted to go to AEW was, well, basically like the same amount of money for like way less dates. So comparable money for less dates was a big part of it. But like, I think a lot of people think that Daniel Bryan, before he moves into a producer role, wants to do a bit of a retirement tour of doing some work in New Japan, doing some work in ROH, and AEW would give him the flexibility to do that because he's an independent contractor, and why not? He has all the leverage in the world. He's Daniel fucking Bryan. Or I guess he's Bryan Danielson now. We should probably go back to that. So I think you might see Daniel Bryan pop up other places more than you're going to see like a CM Punk do that. So I would think if he's naming people in an interview, like he was still in WWE at the time that he said that he wanted to go do that. So if you've publicly said that's something you want to go do, and the way Tony Khan seems to work, I can't imagine he wouldn't have negotiated that for himself. Like, why not? He could probably do whatever the hell he wants.
That's right.
So Tony saw me laughing over here, and then I sent you guys a picture.
Yeah, I don't know what this is.
What is
That's fucking Karrion Kross on Raw tonight.
Oh no.
Oh, that is awesome.
Awesome.
Dude, that rules. Is he still carrying Kross?
They just did this with T-Bar and T-Doc and
did they give him a new name? Please tell me they gave him a new name. Please tell me they gave him a new name.
And the
I haven't seen
and slice bar and fuckface and oil change and
still
pancakes and
he's still Karrion Kross.
Oh my God. So I got to be honest, part of not my favorite part, but one really great thing about sitting in with you guys for the past 3 weeks has been that I have not watched Raw. Not my favorite part. I love you guys, and doing this has been awesome. I love coming on the show. I've been so much happier not watching Raw, but now that I have to do things for SmackDown, I feel like I probably should, but I can't sit through it. It's so insufferable. It's so bad.
Can I let you guys in on a secret?
Yes.
I watched SummerSlam.
You did?
Yes, I did.
Oh, man.
I was driving home from ROH, so I didn't see
What
it.
a shocker. You watched the second biggest WWE pay-per-view of the year? Look at you.
come on.
You got a freaking
It's been bad. It's been bad.
I didn't watch it.
Yeah, if you watch SummerSlam, raise your hand. Kevin, my man, pots and pans.
I watched it. I watched that and Takeover.
If I watched Takeover, that Walter Dragunov match was a work of art. I probably would have tuned in for SummerSlam if I wasn't at ROH. I probably would have tuned out after what they did to Bianca.
No, I got it all in today. I didn't watch it.
You didn't watch it live?
No. Fuck no. Fuck no.
Fuck no.
I watched SummerSlam after I got back from the post-major party, so I was able to watch it. That's right. Get it
Sean
out.
Ross Sapp.
That's right. No, it's not. Kurt Hawkins, Zack Ryder, Francine, Eddie Edwards.
Oh, in your face.
In your face, Kate.
In
your Kate face.
Do we
It's
want to
not
go
my
over?
gimmick. It's just my job.
Do we want to go over picks here?
Yes,
Oh,
let's do it.
you wanna
I'm
do
very
picks?
excited because I think I did well. I think
Play
we
the
all-
music.
I think we all swept Takeover.
It's time for the pay-per-view pick fucking thing! NXT Takeover 36 and SummerSlam!
Woo!
Oh man, Tony, get into it.
That felt good.
Kevin, you are correct. We all swept Takeover.
Oh wait, we should play the fucking Mr. Perfect music then.
Yeah, but SummerSlam's different. I think I did pretty well at SummerSlam. I
Wait,
think the only
NXT
one.
Takeover? We were all perfect? Okay,
We all went 5-0 at Takeover.
fucking A, dude.
Kevin and Tony went 8-1 at SummerSlam. I went 7-2.
Which match did Kevin get wrong?
I got Charlotte.
Me too.
That's the only blemish on your records.
You took Nikki Ash too, right?
I picked
What?
Nikki Ash, yeah.
Fucking Charlotte sucks. Can I just tell you that? No.
I picked that. I got that match right.
And which ones did you get wrong, dummy?
So I thought RK Bro was done. I didn't know they were.
Oh, come on, dude.
And I thought Seth Rollins was going to beat Edge.
Really?
I don't know. I don't understand. I just don't watch WWE. So like, what's the
All right, so Edge desperately needed a win in like a big spot.
Yeah.
So,
What brand is he on? He's on
SmackDown.
Oh, he's on SmackDown. Yes.
So is he going to go back? He's not going after Roman Reigns, right?
No, because
fucking,
of Brizak.
Yeah, Brock's back. I don't know. I just thought like, oh, Edge is there to put Rollins over. I don't know.
No, see that your logic is airtight, but Edge needed a win because I don't think he had. I can't remember a big win that he had since his return. So
I don't watch the WWE, so
I mean, neither do I. But I watch the pay-per-views, so he needed a pay-per-view win.
And honestly, overall, pretty good show.
Yo, great show. Can we talk about his Brood entrance, by the way?
Yo, the first half of the entrance was the Brood coming up through the stage with the fire and everything.
Oh, dude, I just had a conversation about if they made a match. Appreciate this. If they made another Ultimate Edge, I would want a Brood Ultimate Edge figure, Brood style, and all of a sudden they just popped this up, like coming out of the entrance, with the fire and the flame. It would be cool if Gangrel was there, and obviously Edge couldn't be there, but the fact that
you mean Christian, Kate, you should be very happy.
Awesome.
Even though Nikki Ash is no longer champion, we got a Nikki Ash shirt.
For the love of the effing Lord. After her reign.
You know what? And I watched the three-way for the title. At first, it felt a little disjointed, but then it fell into a nice groove, and I think they told a nice story. I just fucking hate that Charlotte had to win again.
Why did they book Nikki Ash like this? It makes no fucking sense. I sound more and more like that
You know
every
why?
day. Oh,
Because
Jesus Christ.
I think because they took a lot of shit with Otis winning the fucking briefcase and not being able to cash in, that I think they felt like they needed to do a solid. So
The
the
women's Money in the Bank, out of the 4 that they've had, 3 have gotten cashed in within 24 hours. If you're almost a superhero, why do you win off the bat and then lose? Why aren't you almost winning and then getting
she
the
almost
title?
won. She lost. That's almost winning.
I know, but when you immediately cash in and win the title, and then you go and lose sometimes,
Hey,
that
it
makes no
happened to-
fucking sense.
Whoa, that happened to the Miz. What, 4 months ago? It was the same shit. He cashed it in a week later. He was losing. To
But his
fucking
gimmick is that if you're almost a superhero, shouldn't you be working closer and closer and closer to the superhero-y thing of winning the title? This is so fucking stupid.
Maybe when she becomes a full-fledged superhero, then she'll win all her matches.
No, there's no look. You're either a superhero or you're not a fucking.
Whoa. Rosie was an SHIT. Let's not forget how great his fucking team was with the Hurricane.
Well, here's the other thing with this whole gimmick too. I initially didn't like it, and then I heard her promo that was clearly her talking about it.
Yes.
And that was beautiful and
Yep.
awesome. And if I was 11, I would have thought this was the most inspiring, cool shit in the world. And then they've just turned this whole thing on its head the entire time. It's been bad.
The one
And part of it is like that people want Rhea to be over, but they haven't done a good job with her on the main roster, but they know kind of what she's capable of. So
Because
she's
Charlotte has to win. Charlotte has to win every fucking time. The one thing I don't like about Nikki, the yellow and blue tights are just fucking weird. It looked like a fucking banana with a wedgie rolling around the ring. It fucking threw me off.
I mean, I'll say this. I in wrestling media know that people sincerely, multiple people that I know checked in with WWE shop to be like, hey, why doesn't this person have have merch, and no, at least 3 people could not give them an answer. Like, it was just the most hot-shotted, ridiculous bullshit. And I've been railing about it on Twitter and on shows and whatever. Like, AEW, God bless them, I don't really like a lot of their merch designs. If Britt Baker sneezes the right way into a camera, there's a t-shirt about it in an hour. Like, there's no fucking excuse that you had a women's champion for a month that didn't have merch. She drops the title and now you have merch for her.
Well,
That
don't
is
forget-
trash.
Don't forget too, with AEW, Tony Khan or somebody in the office picks up the phone, gets on with Ryan, and Ryan's like, I'm on it. WWE,
A month?
well, their machine is probably like, well, we have to put it in front of the board. They have to approve it. We got to look at this. Does it
Holy
offend
shit, just have a
anybody?
fucking cape though. Like, just a cape.
Look,
That's
you saw-
basic
you
of it.
You saw what happened with the Sin Cara penis shirt. You just can't be putting shirts out there.
Although I'll tell you this much, John Cena got that fucking Super Mario 3 shirt. That thing looks fucking awesome.
That's not his first. I think he's had that shirt before.
No,
How
because it's
about
got the-
John
I think it's got-
Morrison having a
got all-
sex offender shirt that says "Keep it moist" with a dripstick that looks like a dick that has jizz coming out of it?
He had
Like,
drip in the fucking hair, in his hair.
it's disgusting. That should be on the sex offender list, and you can't make a superhero cape? Fucking disgusting.
Isn't
You're
drip
selling
like-
it in kid sizes.
Isn't drip like a pop culture term? Like drip? Isn't that like
Drip,
a pop
yeah.
culture term?
But
Yeah,
the
like-
shirt doesn't say drip drip. The
like-
shirt says "Keep it moist."
How did we go from skeet skeet to drip drip? Like, it's just like, it sounds like ED problems to me, drip drip. Especially since Ric Flair's song was the one that fucking put that up there.
It's true.
Ric Flair drip.
Maybe Blue Chew's just been doing so much work in the wrestling industry
Yeah,
podcast.
That's a great point.
Wow, America's most wanted.
Sorry, that's
All right, so here's the thing, though. People turned on before moist turned on them. People decided to make moist like the worst word ever when, for a very long time, it really
this
wasn't.
is a new shirt. This is a now shirt.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying, though. Like people put the wrong edge on moist before moist put the wrong edge on.
I
itself.
love a good double entendre shirt. I have a Carlito Spitter Swallow shirt. I think that's fine and funny, but you can't not have a Nikki Ash. You can't tell me the reason that you don't have a Nikki Ash shirt ready is because like you have to run it through people. If you're
No.
America's most wanted.
No, and you know what? They don't have to run it through people because they have print to order. They have their own print to order or order to print, whatever it's called, just like everyone else does.
Multi-billion-dollar company.
They have it. They have the ability to make a Nikki Cross shirt anytime they wanted to, and it could have been available like that, and it's print to order, just like pro wrestling tees. WWE has that, but that's what also kind of, I think, downgraded the quality of their shirts and the quality of their designs, not their shirts, but the designs. And if I don't know, I mean, yes, I'm not a Moist fan either, but I think people give Moist a hard time.
One match I really enjoyed the shit out of was the RK Bro, which I fucking hate. I mean, yeah, I kind of hate it. With AJ and Omos. Fuck, dude, Randy Orton is just on another fucking level. I could watch him wrestle AJ Styles all the time. And after they won, when he's celebrating with Matt Riddle and he's just kind of whispering to him, like, let's do this pose and let's do that pose. And Riddle did his pose on the ground and Orton put the belt on his other shoulder and did his pose behind it. Oh my God. And Riddle had a fucking smile ear to ear, dude. They were just having a blast working together. It was so fucking good.
Why was there no pyro on this show?
Because halfway through the show, apparently they had some sort of glitch in the stadium that knocked out not only the pyro, but their payment system. So nobody could buy concessions, merch, anything that was on that credit system during the second half of the show.
Oh, mama.
Oh, mama, indeed. That's why Goldberg came out to just smoke and not fucking, the sparklers and shit.
Fucking Goldberg.
Almost.
Dude, Goldberg, it was like Cena and Rob Van Dam at the fucking ECW pay-per-view. They booed every fucking thing Goldberg did, and they cheered fucking Lashley at every
fucking move. Even when Goldberg's kid came in, they booed the fucking kid.
Good. Fuck that kid.
The one thing that pissed me off, well, two things. One, the ending where they just stopped it and they were like, oh, Goldberg can't continue. Whatever. The other thing was fucking MVP hits him with the cane and it took him a second and a half to realize he got hit. And he's like, ow, my leg. What are you doing to me? I was like, really?
He sucks.
He wasn't
his
bad.
Head sucks in his
He didn't-
fucking varsity blues wannabe shirt. Get the fuck out of here.
He didn't drop anybody on their head. That was a plus. The match I really fucking hated.
Listen to what you just said. He didn't drop anybody on their head.
Yeah,
That
plus one
was
for
a plus.
Goldberg.
That's where the expectations are. Get this man away from a fucking title picture.
I tell you what, though, Cena was over as fuck. They were cheering Cena. They
Good.
fucking hate
They were
Roman.
cheering Goldberg too. Let's not get crazy.
No. Go back
His
and
entrance, they were chanting.
There's also a lot of talk that they sweeten that shit up too.
No, what's the big hullabaloo?
Sorry, what?
The big hullabaloo.
Hullabaloo?
Sasha couldn't what she got? COVID? What's her deal?
Nobody knows, and you know what?
Nobody cares. What do you hear? What do you say? Nobody
Dude,
knows.
people
Nobody
lost their
cares.
minds. They're like, Sasha's a fucking a COVID denier and a fucking anti-vax. I'm like, what do you give a fuck? Maybe they took her off for the story that Becky Lynch was coming back. Just shut the fuck
Also,
up.
No.
By the way, getting the vaccine doesn't mean you don't get COVID. It means you don't have symptoms or symptoms
Brody-
as bad.
Brody,
You can
Brody King had COVID after he got the vaccine. That's why he was pulled off those New Japan Strong tapings.
Nah, it means that you just won't get hospitalized. That's basically what it is.
You
Yeah,
won't.
you're probably
you
not
won't
gonna die from
die.
Yeah.
That's it.
But everybody's a fucking doctor. Who cares? She got pulled off the show. Are you not happy with what we got? I was happy.
No,
No.
nobody's happy with what they got. It's fucking
No.
bullshit.
No. Now you're thinking like, oh, Becky Lynch beat her. She finished her in 20 seconds. That's not what happened.
7 seconds.
Well, it was 20, but it was 7 after the handshake. And that was the thing. So Becky Lynch comes back. She's this fucking, oh, she's back. Oh, everybody's fucking singing and shit. So she shit cans Carmella. And everybody hates Carmella anyway. So it's like, fuck Carmella, right? So she gets in the ring and she's like, you and me now, title this and that. And they fucking go at it. Oi, oi. And they do a little circle and she puts her hand out and stupid Bianca fucking grabs her hand and bam. And that was it. She fell for it. She was befuddled and she was fucking stupefied and she lost.
You're fucking champion? Is that dumb?
This is a hullabaloo.
Stupid as shit. First of all, Sasha just started this weird ass stable with Zelina and Carmella. And so if Sasha can't compete, shouldn't it be one of the fucking them two?
Yeah, it was. Carmella came out and Becky said, not today.
Where is anybody with a sense of rules and order in this stupid fucking company?
Wait.
Come on, Tony. Tony, allow me.
All
Allow
right,
me.
Kevin, all yours.
John Cena just takes Finn Balor's contract. Eva Marie's supposed to wrestle him out, or Doudrop's supposed to wrestle him out. And Eva Marie just comes in. Fucking stupid. Stupid.
You gotta put your bias aside because everyone does it.
It drives me nuts in other places too.
Okay.
It drives me nuts because we've been getting hammered with this. It's like the John Cena signing Finn Balor's contract was the stupidest shit I've ever seen. Because that's not how a contract works.
It's not the first time that's been done either.
Yeah, and it's stupid every time. But we just get all of this nonsensical bullshit. And so now there's a report that Becky's gonna work heel.
Yeah, she's a bad guy.
She fucking shit on Bianca. She suckered her in, shook her hand, and
But that's not.
Bianca's
That's the mistake. That's like.
Just let them have a fucking match.
Yeah, she'll never get booed.
Let them have a fucking match.
See, Kevin's right on that point. It was stupid that they did that and they tried to make her heel. It didn't work with Austin. It's not going to work with Becky, especially since she just came back to a huge pop.
And she's like a new mom and stuff. And not to mention, so you just completely cut Bianca's legs out from under her. She's like one of the very few stars you've actually made in the past fucking 5 years. And then you have Becky come out and beat her in 7 seconds. And then on top of that, you're going to turn Becky heel. And by the way, They announced that they're gonna turn Becky heel instead of just doing it in a story.
Well,
like in movies, how they're like, "Hey, just so you know,
no, you got
this
it wrong.
is the bad guy." It's fucking stupid.
I get your point, but they're trying to. I guess they're trying to put emphasis on the syllable and the fact that she turned on Bianca. She healed her.
But
nobody got it.
No, this is where you're missing it. There was no relationship there for a turn to be made. So it was just them turning her heel. And listen, they never announced it. It was WWE said, "Hey, yeah, Becky's a heel now."
Yes, they did.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did, Kevin. They released.
Someone
a statement
reported
today.
it.
It was reported because they said it.
All right, so they said it to somebody. They didn't say it to the world.
Okay, well,
all right,
you're
so
telling the
we
press,
get
that's
it. Becky's
fucking
going to be a heel. I disagree with the move, and there was no relationship between Bianca and Becky. But here's the thing: we put pro wrestlers that have made it and have been to the top on such a weird little pedestal that if it's them that does it, then maybe it's okay. Like, I get it. Bianca was an up and comer. She had a good run, and it's not over yet. But now here's the thing. Now, if Bianca chases Becky, and Becky's now in the role of a John Cena, of a Goldberg, of this type scenario, where now Bianca maybe beats Becky, and it means more than just, I think, what did she win? She won in the main event of WrestleMania. That's pretty big. So if she beats Becky, that could be bigger and make her a bigger star. So
you know how much shit we've been told to wait out that has just not been.
No, I agree, but you got to put them in a vacuum.
I don't though, because they have completely lost my trust.
Now, look, I don't agree with the move because I think the build for Bianca was done beautifully. But let's be fair, Sheamus beat Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania in 8 seconds too.
Yeah, and that was the crowd reacted like that was bullshit.
But see what happened to Daniel Bryan after. His career was not dead.
Yeah, but Daniel Bryan was also one of the best in-ring workers. Bianca is still green. Like, she needs the help. And it just blows my mind that week after week, they could do whatever they want. They can book things however they want. You could turn Becky heel however you want in any way that doesn't damage Bianca and make her reign feel meaningless, and do it on a handshake that makes her look fucking stupid. Like,
I don't think this makes Bianca. I don't think this makes Bianca look silly. I think, and like you said, who better to work with someone that's green than Becky Lynch? And now you have Becky and Bianca working again. I'm with you. Don't agree with how it was done. I would have rather have seen a competitive match, and then maybe if Becky wins, Becky wins. I'd rather have seen a competitive match. But there's got to be some weird thing here that we're just not knowing or not seeing. Or
we said that about Retribution. We said it about The Fiend.
Oh no, Retribution was terrible. Retribution was a garbage gimmick that never should have happened in the first place.
A quick list of all the things I've been told to wait out: Retribution, The Fiend, Goldberg beating The Fiend, Otis Money in the Bank, Reginald in the women's division, Ray is at last year's Mania, The Hurt Business, Shane McMahon.
Who's telling you that?
I'm done fucking waiting it out. Karrion Kross. Oh, no. The story's going to be great. Yeah, he's fucking 2-2, and now he's wearing some bastardized red Power Ranger mask on my television. I am done waiting it out. Oh, it's going to be better when fans return. Oh, it sucks. It's bad. I'm done. It sucks.
Tony.
I hated the Eva Marie
barf
this match. It was fucking terrible.
With the puppet, what did the puppet do?
Nothing. Fucking Eva picked up the puppet and hit Alexa with it, and then Alexa got mad, and then I don't know what happened. I guess Doudrop, I don't know, she's like making fun of Eva Marie now, and she put on her robe at ringside. It was fucking terrible.
Doudrop.
There's puppets and there's swords and motorcycles and
dude. All right. Look,
oh my.
Jiggle my balls loses to fucking Drew McIntyre, and these two big fucking hulking Samoans come in, and Drew chases them off with the goddamn sword over his head. What are we doing? You think Bianca Belair got destroyed? Drew McIntyre has become a caricature, easy for me to say, of himself with this goddamn sword because Vince is like, oh, he's a warrior. He needs a sword. Ha ha ha.
Also,
that
like,
nonsense.
can everybody just carry a sword around now? Is my question. Because why
You know who
would
had a sword last? Berserker had the sword. He tried to kill the Undertaker with it. Where's John Nord nowadays? Telling stories about Dusty Rhodes' muffler on fucking shoot interviews.
just like if you can have a sword or not have a sword, wouldn't everybody have a sword? I would choose to have a sword in pretty much any situation.
You could easily go to medieval times and buy a sword if you want.
It's an extremely good point, and I can't wait for our field trip to medieval times.
I love medieval times.
Medieval times rules.
I'm done with the
Much better.
mosquito. Go ahead.
Much better as an adult because you can drink alcohol.
It's necessary.
When the service is really slow and they fuck up and they bring you 8 drinks instead of the 4 that you ordered for your table.
Yo, last time I went to medieval times, I forgot how long they have like a 45-minute introduction with an eagle or some sort of bird that circles the arena. It's so long.
That's my favorite. The bird flying around.
Hawk.
I love that. I love the hawk.
The hawk, that's right. Oh
When
my
he fucking
gosh.
throws the food and the fucking thing spins around, and oh my god, I love that part of the show.
So long, and it feels like an ice capade script or something. It's the best.
Yeah, but
You
then
know why?
it's
Because they want to give you like simple entertainment. So while you're eating, you have something to watch. Like when the horses are doing like the trots and shit.
Yeah.
And then it's
Doing the-
over
doing the
before
trots and then dropping some trots.
Yeah, and then it's over before it even started. And you're like, man, this is just getting good. But I understand why. You fucking drink a bunch of those giant plastic cups full of fucking frozen margaritas. You'll be down there fucking fighting horses and actors.
Speaking of shit that was over before it started, the Mysterio angle is
Oh fuck that shit! I hate that shit. I
What's
hope
going on
Dominic
there?
breaks both of his legs. I think the story is that Dominic keeps fucking up and Ray's gonna like beat him or something. I don't know.
he's gonna beat his child. That would actually be, at least they would be making a risk of some sort on this program.
Yeah, so that I don't give a shit. I liked Cena and Reigns. I thought it was great. Like I can take or leave Roman Reigns like talking during matches, but he was fucking saying some good shit. I really enjoyed this one. Fucking dude, Brock Lesnar. Why is it coming out with that fucking ponytail? Everything else looks so badass with the fucking with the cowboy boots and the buckle and the fucking looking like a badass. He's got the fucking little fucking ponytail.
He looks like Alex Hammerstone ate Alex Hammerstone.
Yep, he looks like Grandpa Hammerstone.
All right, but is this what we want?
What?
Fucking Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar?
Dude, people look.
Like the
Here's the
crowd.
difference. Goldberg, they shit all over. Brock Lesnar came out, dude. People fucking went nuts for him. Brock Lesnar in small doses, I think people can deal with. Give him a couple of months, then people will be like, "Oh fuck, this fucking guy again."
Well, we've seen it before, but the
No,
only
but here's the
reason-
thing, Kate.
We
We,
have
haven't
Paul
seen
Heyman.
we haven't seen Paul Heyman on the other side versus Roman Reigns.
that's the
We
big-
haven't seen
that's the
Paul
big
Heyman
fact.
Roman versus Brock
Exactly.
without him.
we haven't seen this version of Roman, and Paul Heyman can usually make me interested in like whatever he's talking about. So I'm at least optimistic for that. But man, I
plus-
gotta say, when you like, I didn't watch SummerSlam, but I saw some of the shit, and I'm like, when you have CM Punk going out there doing what he did, and then you turn on and you see like Seth Rollins covered in black goo because Brood is back. Like it does look
Wait, what?
fucking cheesy as fuck. Did you not see Seth Rollins covered like in black?
I did not watch Summer. I have zero interest in SummerSlam.
No, it wasn't on
Actually,
SummerSlam.
That was
like-
on SmackDown.
it
Oh, so that was
wasn't on
right
SummerSlam,
before it
yeah.
then. So even better. But like,
SmackDown. I tried to watch fucking Ring of Honor and their fucking shitty cameras suck for the first fucking 4 matches.
man, yeah, it was like all zoomed in and weird, right? Like people were talking about it while we were there.
Yes, it was. I turned it off.
Matt, did we have a total on a leaderboard for picks now?
Yes. So Kevin and Tony went 13-1 over the weekend. I went a respectable 12-2.
Very respectable.
Kevin still has a 2-game lead over Tony at 112, 40, and 1. Tony, you're 2 games back at 110, 42, and 1. And I am slowly not gaining any ground. I'm 17. No, let's see. Do the math. 7, 12, 19 games behind Kevin, 17 games behind Tony at 93, 59, and 1. Maybe I can make up some ground this weekend with the NWA pay-per-views.
Kevin and I are like pretty close to like 70 games over 500. That's insane.
Yes.
That really is insane if you think about it.
It's probably the best collective year other than Matt that we've had probably.
That's bringing the average down, but
I have to take calculated risks. I have to catch up. It is what
I
it is.
understand. But your risks this time were a lot better than they were the past few weeks.
Hey, I got.
Oh boy.
Hey, listen, we all swept the show.
We all swept Takeover, which was I did watch Takeover today. I did enjoy. What is on my microphone? I did enjoy it very much. Walter and Dragunov was fantastic.
Absolutely.
I like the Kyle O'Reilly Adam Cole match. The women's match was fun.
Fantastic show. Great show. All like everything about it was pretty damn good. So we'll see. Despite what people want to say about the direction NXT is heading, it is a stalemate, not a stalemate. God, what's a stalwart? What's like a main? It's a mainstay that their takeovers are tremendous. Oh, there's that.
And it seems like Adam Cole still hasn't signed his contract.
I think that's why we all kind of figured. That's why I'm guessing that's why we all picked Kyle O'Reilly.
It's being reported that the future home of NXT TV shows will be at the Performance Center. So they'll be upgrading that in the next coming.
Good to be back because they're at the Capitol Wrestling.
And that's all I have in the NXT. Look, great show. Walter Dragunov, I think, was the match of the night.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and watch that. I typically don't
dog
watch
shit beat out of
NXT.
him.
Yeah, I gotta.
Sorry, Tony.
No, you're good.
Tony, I think you would love that match. They're so oh, it's just a piece of art. It was so good.
Walter.
So
Walter was
sorry.
I was just gonna say, like, he's such a I would love to see him retire Lesnar. Man. He's so athletic for his size, and Dragunov, just every cell in his body was telling a story last night. Like, it was really, really great. That's like a match of the year contender. Great. I would say I was very blown away by it.
So what does Walter's reign end at? Like over 1,000 days? Like how long?
870?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, COVID aside, that's still a hell of a run.
Yeah.
I'll look it up for you. I'm gonna get an exact.
Yeah, so even if you take 100 days out of that, 700 is pretty damn good.
Still the longest modern reign, right?
Well, aside from Nick Aldis, of course.
Of course.
But his reign might be coming to an end on Sunday.
Oh, goddamn! No, that booger eating son of a bitch. 870. Yes, 870. I was correct. 870. I put a poll up on the Twitter machine. Because Adam Cole had said pre-match,
Cole on a poll
while he was walking around the ring, greatest NXT superstar ever. So I put up a poll: Johnny Gargano, Adam Cole, Samoa Joe, or other.
Is other winning?
You probably have to go other.
No, Adam Cole won over 300 votes. Adam Cole won 55% of the votes. It just ended about 5 minutes ago.
I think that's some
Did
president.
people did people comment on who they would put in?
People did comment. You got some Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
Kevin Steen got to be on there, right?
I got a couple KOs. I got a couple Finn Balor's.
Okay.
A couple Tommaso Ciampas.
Okay.
And then one that I should have put on the list, maybe instead of Joe, Asuka.
Oh yeah.
What about like going back though? Like what about like Seth Rollins, and what about Big E, and what about?
I don't think that's. I
What
know
about WWE CW NXT? You know, what about
That was
Zack
never a
Ryder?
thing.
What about CM Punk?
Yeah,
What about Bo
I mean, I actually
silly.
kind of
Robert
feel
Roode.
like it was Joe, right? I mean, he's your three-time champion.
Yeah.
I am victorious.
EC3 was there for a while.
Yeah, but EC3 didn't do anything there.
Did he win the belt?
No.
Sure.
I
about
feel
that?
like it's Joe. I feel like as far as like spanning,
Yeah, but I don't-
that's what's so hard is like there was all these different chapters of NXT, right? Like you can certainly make the case that Cole is.
What about Charlotte or Becky or Bailey or
Yeah, I mean, like that takeover match between Bailey and Sasha put women's wrestling on the map in a whole new way. Like, there's so many directions that conversation could go. I think it's a landslide because people have Cole on the mind, baby.
Yep.
But
don't forget too, Cole was also a very dominant champion. He was the head of a fucking huge faction. I mean, he's got a lot going for him.
there's nothing wrong with that answer. I just think it wouldn't be such a landslide if people thought more thoroughly about it.
Yeah,
like if I looked at that poll, I could see myself clicking Cole, but if I actually sat down and thought about what NXT, and it's so sad.
Well, Drew McIntyre.
Drew is just certainly someone that could be on there. I feel like a Kevin Owens maybe.
Kevin Owens should be on there.
Yeah, but sad to see that legacy end.
I think it's Johnny Gargano.
I think you might be right on that, Matt.
Nah, Johnny Gargano never won a fucking match.
Fucking lose.
He's a Triple Crown
Johnny
winner.
Gargano's a Triple Crown winner, buddy. He was the
Yeah, but he
first
fucking
Triple Crown
loses all the time.
But it's not greatest super. Like, you remember DIY tag matches against the Revival. His fucking match against Andrade at the Takeover might be the greatest NXT match ever.
Well, Andrade could be. No, he wouldn't be on there.
The feud with Tomasa, the storytelling in that.
I think you're right, Matt.
And he's. I mean, you go back and you look at it, and he was usually at the top, but he always had fucking amazing takeover matches. Always.
Yeah. Matt, I think you're right. And he even was called up and said, like, hey, no, I want to be in NXT. I don't want to be in WWE. So let's just make this a thing.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Would you consider him to be like the Jerry Lynn of NXT?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because I get what you're saying, but I feel like there's got to be a better comparison. I get what you're saying, and I get the point that you're trying to make, but there's got to be somebody more.
You think he's like the Tommy Dreamer of NXT?
Okay, that's better, I think.
Okay. All right, I put a little.
Even though he won world titles and Tommy Dreamer won one.
Well, Tommy Dreamer also won the tag belts.
No, again, point taken. But I would say he's probably the Tommy Dreamer in theory, in terms of heart and soul. But in terms of like success, he might be like a Rob Van Dam.
Because Rob Van Dam held belts for a long time, and
so did Johnny, man. So did Johnny.
Yeah, and now he's brewing at Elementary Brewery. Brian Van Dam.
Oh, Jesus. Oof.
All right.
Sorry, Kate. I wasn't on the bus with you.
Inside baseball, Kate over here.
Well, name
my
dropping
baseball-
is already taken, Kevin.
It just wasn't a good line. That's all. Sorry.
Wow, rude.
Sorry. Look, I'm in your camp. Just not for that one. I kind of let that bus keep going.
Hey guys, you want to do my top 5?
No.
Oh, Kevin's got a top 5.
Oh, Jesus.
Let me just
Top
Kevin.
5 memories from this weekend.
Before you hit your top 5, I just got to bring up this point. This goddamn motherfucking Team Filthy Von Erich.
MLW, bitch.
Oh, fuck, bro.
It's going on for another 7 months.
Why?
Just Court Bauer's afraid that somebody might get sick. That's why.
Don't do the fucking stupid match in goddamn Dallas. Move it to fucking somewhere else and just do the goddamn thing and get it over with.
The Von Erichs. How are you not going to do their blow off in Dallas, you dummy?
Well, don't fucking book them just based on where they fucking live.
Oh, just don't cancel the fucking show.
Well, everyone's getting fucking COVID in Texas because Texas.
No, they're not. 3
don't give
people
a
got
shit.
it.
3 people got
You know what they did? You know what they did in New Zealand this week? They shut down the country again. You know why? 2 people got sick. 2 people in the entire goddamn country.
Okay, well, this isn't a referendum on COVID as much as it is about poor planning. It's not like.
No, it's not. But I mean, come on. Like, we're adults here. It's been a fucking year and a half. If you don't want to go, you don't go.
So Florida and Texas are responsible for 71% of the current cases. They could have seen this coming. Like, that was the discussion around the ROH show. That's in 3 weeks moving back to Philly. Like, they were like, oh, whoever would have thought Lakeland, Florida would have been a hotbed for a COVID, except for everybody.
Well, listen, I was up in Boston for 4 days and no one was wearing masks.
Dude, I was in Lake George for a week. If I saw like 10 people wearing masks, it was a lot.
Look,
Well, a lot of
Florida-
people are vaccinated now, but the point is like their press release, which actually Ryan Schlong had read and told me about. That wasn't a name drop so much as just who I was hanging out with.
Hey, Ryan Schlong's an important part of the
He's
Shining
the
Wizards.
most important part all of a sudden.
Doesn't
He's
get a
killing it on
bell.
our Twitter.
There's more episodes of that show than our Matt.
He had said something to the fact that like they had named like Lambda, and there are 3 cases legitimately of Lambda around there, and Lambda's not as strong of a variation or whatever. Like what we decided that we thought that was we're going to use this as an excuse to not admit that we just planned this really fucking poorly. Like there's no reason that they couldn't have just moved it to a different part of Texas that maybe isn't a hotbed, or B, anywhere else in the country and get it done. Like
fucking do it in New Orleans. The fucking Von Erichs travel well.
They could have it in Israel. The fucking Von Erichs are super over in Israel.
Please, the fucking WWE's going back there in October.
No, that's Saudi Arabia.
Whatever, it's all the fucking same. It's over the pond.
Oh, holy shit, dude. Why don't you tell them to fucking land in Kabul on the way there while you're at
What?
it?
It's just another country. I don't fucking know. That's all I meant. Don't get all butthurt about it. And how come fucking MLW's not showing any of the shit they taped months ago?
MLW is
bad
not-
choice.
They show us fucking Battle Riot, now nothing. Where's my new fucking
Dude.
LAX?
Where's Hammerstone and Fatu? Come on. It's been 2 years already.
Oh, you're mad about that, but you're all in on this fucking shitty war games with fucking Team Filthy and the
Not
fucking Von
shit.
Erichs.
Violence is forever, and fucking what's his nuts and fucking Rip Von Erich. They're gonna get their asses handed to them.
Oh, God.
I bet you Kevin gets in the ring for this one, dude. I guarantee it.
I might.
El Desperado and Canamuro won the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Super Juniors. Everyone in New Japan has COVID. Shingo, Bushi both have COVID. Anyone that has been close to them has been pulled off the Summer Struggle Tour. Naito, Gato, Jado.
My fuck boys.
Your fuck boys split up, buddy. I don't know if you heard about that.
Who, Show and Yo?
Yeah, they fucking broke up, bro.
Did Show beat up Yo? Did Show beat up Yo? That's all I want to know.
Yes.
Good.
Let's say more rhyming words.
Good. Show's on his own. I love it.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for that.
They're broken up. Your boy fucking your one fuck boy is fighting your other fuck boy.
Wait, Tanahashi and Ibushi are fighting?
Yeah, and September 4th for the IWGP United States Championship.
Ooh, that's right. Tanahashi was champ again, bro.
Yeah. Wrestle Grand Slam, so that's happening. Minoru Suzuki's coming over to the States for a bunch of GCW shows.
Oh no.
What do you know? No.
Minoru Suzuki, the old
Yeah, you
man.
don't like Minoru Suzuki?
Oh, I love him. He's a crazy old fuck. I don't
we
need Minoru Suzuki versus Nick Gage in my life. I'm sorry, I don't.
You do need that. You said.
No, I don't. Stop it.
Well, a little local news for you. Matt Tremont.
Oh, local news, Kevin.
Oh, look at that. Now we want to do
Now
some
he wants
local
local
news.
news.
Well,
Holy
it's wrestling
shit.
related. It's not about the fucking guy who was jerking off and his car fucking died in the garage and the gas filled the thing and the fucking mailman.
You remembered local news. You remembered the whole fucking story.
Matt Tremont
sticks with you.
Matt Tremont's coming out of retirement to face Onita on Halloween at Tremont's H2O Wrestling. So
Wasn't
if you
Halloween
want-
See You in Hell? Was that their song? What was Halloween's big song? See You in Hell?
Halloween's big song was I Want Out.
That was it. Go ahead. Kevin's putting panties on his head.
So if you want to see Onita in the States, Halloween is your chance. I'm sure it'll be in Williamstown, New Jersey, down by Philadelphia. And Dark Side of the Ring, that returns Thursday, September 16th at 9 p.m. We're going to cover the plane ride from hell, the life and death of Chris Canyon, FMW, XPW, the life and death of Luna Vachon, and the life and death of Bruiser Bedlam, plus the 94 trial where Vince McMahon was indicted and later found not guilty of providing steroids to WWF wrestlers.
I'm into this whole season. I'm interested to see if they're gonna talk about Luna Vachon and Primetime Amy Lee versus the Diva Killers. That's what I want.
right. All right, Kevin, it's time for your top 5 list.
Is that a looking blob mask, by the way?
No, this is I forget whose mask this is. It's Alpha. I think it might be Phantasmo, but I'm not sure. But
Kev,
anyway,
doesn't matter.
all right. All right, so as you all know, I just got off a plane. I was flying. So I thought to myself while I was in flight, What are the top 5 best moves, finishing moves that have been done off the top rope? So top 5 finishing moves that have been done off the top rope. Single wrestlers, not tag teams, not anything like that. Just one man flying high off the top.
All 5 of
rope.
these should
So
be
I'll
the
let you
Judas
guys
effect.
decide who starts first.
I say let Kate go first.
The Judas effect.
Oh God,
Oh,
get out of here.
Jesus
Kate,
Christ, dude.
Kate, get out. You're done. Go back to Fight Club.
Fuck no.
Go back to fucking Fight Club.
Hysterical.
I'll be coming.
That should be all 5 of them, and Tony should also cover that theme for the people.
I'm gonna do one of those live Twitch things though, by the way. I will do one. Anyway.
Oh yeah. We'll talk.
Kevin, I don't know because I don't think your mask is proper on your face. I don't know where to look when you speak.
All right, so I'll point. You're down there for me. So it's really tough to see.
I know your mouth is moving, but the mask keeps going like up and down up here. It's really
I
distracting.
feel like your cheeks are coming out the eye holes.
Well, I haven't zipped it. It's not zipped in the back.
All right. Well, since Tony sucks at this, I will defer to him.
Fuck off. I'm gonna say best moves off the top. Does it have to be a specific wrestler or just a move?
Just a move. I mean, if you want to throw a wrestler in there and it happens to make the list, that's fine.
Well, I'm just gonna go with the flying elbow. Let's go Randy
You know
Savage.
what? That's a freaking
CM Punk's
great
flying
one.
elbow.
That's a great one, and I didn't think about it, so no.
No. Fuck no.
I didn't think about it, Tony. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Matt's off.
That would be on the list if I had thought about it.
Thought about it.
But I didn't think about it.
That's like the first one that came to my mind after the Judas effect.
You'll see these. Oh,
No, that's actually not the first one that came to my mind, but I didn't go with the first one because I don't think you would put it on the list. Matt.
It's probably a lot of bad ones then that I have on here.
Maybe. The frog splash.
All right, Matt.
See, that's the one I was gonna go with.
Ring the bell.
Correct. Ding.
That's a good bell. The frog splash is number 3, Matt. Comes in.
The one.
You want to go RVD? You want to go Eddie Guerrero? You want to go D'Lo Brown? I'll take any of them. The frog splash, number 3, baby. Let's see.
Shooting star press.
Let's hit that bell, baby.
Correct. Ding.
What happened to the music, Tony?
The music stopped, dude. Stop producing the show and do your bit. Come on.
It's hard to do with that. It's hard to do a bit without a bit. All right, so shooting star press is number 2. KTG. That is one of my favorite moves of all time. I love it. It's great. Billy Kidman, Mark Marrow, whoever you want to say. It's number 2. This is
sweet.
Donk.
I'm going Superfly, brother. Top rope splash.
I had it, but I took it off for the frog splash.
You motherfucker.
Yeah, and I probably could have taken it off for another one and kept both of them on. That's a great call.
Fucking elbow.
But no, it is
Boy, I'm
not on
really
the list.
Fucking balls in this game.
Can I get a Doink the Clown whoopee cushion?
God, these are so good. But no, you can't.
God dang.
All right, so you know what? I might have to take off my number 5 and put the Superfly splash on there.
Can I get
No. Fuck no.
No, leave
a
your list.
swanton bomb?
Kate is coming in hot with that.
Correct.
Yeah.
Ding.
That is number 4 on the list. The Swanton Bomb from Jeff Hardy. And then also done very well by the late, great Sean O'Hare. And then, of course, Lita also did it, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So we have...
We're missing 2, right?
Yeah, so you have shooting star press at number 2. You're missing number 5 and you're missing number 1.
Moonsault.
Nah, Moonsault was good, but it was pretty basic, so I didn't put it in there.
Man, I'm fucking...
Top rope power bomb.
No, this is a flying move where you just go by yourself and you're just flying in the air.
All right.
Number 5 might be really hard, actually.
Coast to Coast?
Ooh, that's a great one, but no.
Yeah, but you're wrong.
No.
No, I didn't think of it.
How about the
I really
Alabama-
like this list. I really like this list, but then other things come up and you just don't take into consideration. I think number 1 is the best ever. And I think number 5, no one will really know because not too many people do it. Actually, I think only maybe one person does it. But
I'm going leg drop off the top, the Alabama Jam.
I'm going, Tony, go away. No, it is not on the list.
No. Fuck no.
450 Splash.
Let's play some music for this big
Oh,
daddy.
fuck off. You don't go with a moonsault, you go with a 450 splash. Suck my dick.
The 450 Splash is not only on the list, it is numero uno.
Correct. Ding.
As I say, come on, what is more beautiful? What is more beautiful and more pure than a 450? Like a nice crisp 450.
I don't know, a Macho Man elbow?
No, you're stupid.
Wow.
Wow.
No, Macho Man, that was harsh. Macho Man elbow is great.
Oh.
But
I'm gonna play some music. Fuck
the
boy.
450. The 450 is the most crisp, like most daredevil move.
We
that
got
I've
it.
ever
It's
seen.
crisp. Let's go.
You look, the face that you're making under the mask doesn't look snarky. It looks dejected, which is like.
No, I'm pissed. All right, so you got number 5.
Okay, you said this one's gonna be hard.
Yeah, number 5.
Is it? I'm debating between two. The thing that Aleister Black used to do, the Black Arrow.
No.
Okay.
It is someone who is currently on. How I discovered it is someone who's currently on the WWE roster who does it, and
I was gonna guess the coffin drop, so that takes that out.
Nope. Oh, that's a great one too. But that's really yeah, it is a finisher, yeah. It's just think of something that you already guessed and then just like add numbers to it.
So 6:30.
I'll let someone else that's whose turn it is to go.
Tony, softball.
Tony. Listen, Tony wants me to leave, so we're gonna do this.
Dad.
Tony didn't want to do a show till 10 o'clock.
A 720.
Nope. That's a great Nintendo game though.
Oh, can I go for the win?
I preferred Skate or Die.
Yeah, Matt, go for it. Take the win.
180.
A 630?
It is the 630 via Ricochet. Comes in at number 5.
Pew,
So
pew, Music maestro.
your top 5. Your top 5 are the 630 at number 5. Number 4, the Swanton Bomb. The number 3 is the Frog Splash. Number 2 is the Shooting Star Press. And number 1 is the Mega 450. Yeah, baby.
Wow. No Macho Man elbow. Interesting.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't think of it.
No snooker. No
I didn't
Ricky.
think of it. It wasn't designated to a person. It was just the move itself.
Brother.
And I told you I took out the Superfly for something else.
All right. Well, this has been another whiz bang hummer of an episode.
Boom.
Of the Shining Wizards Wrestling Podcast. Kate, thank you for joining us again. Kate's on the Wednesday night show, the Mark Order Podcast, every Wednesday here on the Rant at 10:15, talking all things AEW. And of course, the Fightful SmackDown Rampage post show, 11 p.m.ish on Friday nights.
And now Tuesdays post NXT, I'll be filling in tomorrow for Sour Graps on Fightful as well, and possibly moving forward. So if you don't want to see me this week in wrestling, I'm sorry.
Kevin, any comedy you want to plug?
No comedy right now, but I will be on the New Generation podcast tomorrow night, hosted by Chad -INB, Chad INB on Twitter. He hosts Francine's podcast. He hosts a bunch of different podcasts, Diamond Conversations and all the good stuff. So I'll be joining him tomorrow for that show. So that's going to be great. So be sure to check that out. The New Generation podcast, talking about all things New Generation WWF.
Nice.
Talking about new generation.
T-Donk, you got anything? You gonna be doing any extra shows?
No, but follow me at Big Tony Z for all laughs and hystericals and all this other nonsense.
Yeah.
And hopefully I can enjoy my house for a week without having fucking people tearing things up or going away down a fucking river on a tube and all that other happy horse shit.
Can I enjoy your house for a week?
Sure, come on over.
All
You're always
right.
welcome. You know that.
All right.
How's that
you
attic
know-
looking?
Attic's fucking hot as balls, but there's a portable AC up there, so knock yourself out.
Beautiful.
Special thanks to Mickie James for joining us tonight.
Oh my God, we took Mickie James tonight. Holy shit.
At Mickie James on Twitter, the Mickie James on Instagram, NWA Empowerrr this weekend. Be sure to check it out. Again, the bundle package with the 73rd anniversary show, $40. Fight TV, you get Saturday and Sunday night wrestling. You can't beat it. NWA, the way wrestling is meant to be. Definitely check it out. It should be two huge shows, and we're gonna pick all those matches, you bitches. So
yeah.
So maybe I could I will either make up ground or continue to fall so far behind.
Yeah, if you take Nick Aldis, you're fucked.
How dare you? How dare you?
How dare me?
I'm taking him. You can't put that booger eater as the face of the promotion. What's wrong with you?
That little globe on the front, perfect spot to hang a fucking crispy right on there.
We'll be back next week with another episode of the Shining Wizards Wrestling Podcast at Wizards Podcast on all forms of social media, ProWrestlingTees.com/Shining Wizards. If you want to get a BM Mark t-shirt or a Kick Logo t-shirt, support us on our Patreon. You know, in the middle of the show, we got a brand new Patreon.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. So keep supporting. We're going to keep grinding, and we're going to keep giving you excellent guests. I got a bunch of feelers out, and hopefully we can give you more excellent interviews with amazing guests. Until next week, we are the Shining Wizards Wrestling Podcast. I don't know.
I know. Good night, Gracie.
You son of a bitch.
You fucking asshole.
I said it last week for you, Tony.
I love you, Kate.
Oh, don't say that. That's